Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Week 14 Stocks Edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who's happy that the Browns got eliminated. Here's Chris.
I don't know about eliminated, but I'm happy that they lose, and I hope they lose out so we can get a better draft pick. But yeah, hey, Browns are on the flag here. They got eliminated, but my Buckeyes are in the playoffs, so the yin to the yang. You take some, you give some.
Upset pick of the week, Browns over Chiefs. Browns over Chiefs.
Browns over Chiefs. Oh, that might be a good
Jameis is going to torch that defense.
Yeah. Oh, funny. You'd be upset if the Browns won against the Chiefs.
Oh, I'd be stoked personally.
You'd be like, you ruined our draft. You should have done this week too. And now we got a gentleman right over here who always will go 4th and 1. Here's Douglas.
You know, Stu, it works every time, most of the time.
Ooh, that's always, I gotta love that. So now, gentlemen, what was your thoughts about Week 14 not stocks, this week in NFL? Since we're all at my place, what'd you think?
It was just great to be around everyone for every single minute of those 1 o'clock games. No one in this group missed a single minute of those 1 o'clockers. It was great to be around you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I'm not going to lie though, Stu, like the best games of the week we did not watch together, unfortunately. We watched a lot of clunkers. Like we had an epic Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night games. The 1 o'clock games were just all right. But Josh Allen, man, holy guacamole, that dude.
Are you telling me the Vikings Minnesota game was not the greatest game of all time?
No, Stu, I dare say it's not in the top 4 games of the weekend.
But as of right now, we got some buys. This is the final bye week, everybody. So after this, there'll be no more bye weeks. It is officially you're in or you out. And we got the Ravens right over here, who are still sixes, the triple sixes of doom. And the Denver Broncos country, let's ride. They got the number 6 already here. And then you got the Houston Texans right over here, who are still triple sixes right over here. Then we got the Indianapolis Colts right over here, who are triple 5s. And
so it makes sense that we had so many clunker games this week, just saying that a lot of our playoff teams were on buys.
Yeah, and also the Patriots. And then finally, we got the Washington Commanders, who are commanding a lead of 6-6 just so they can make it to the wild card. Yes, I did a Howard Cosell joke right over there. But we got some unfortunate eulogies we got to do these 3 weeks. Unfortunately, gentlemen, it's a sad day, Christopher.
How sad is it though, Stu? Because I'm not too sad about it.
Yes, it is very interesting. So I rewatched all the teams that we talked about this week that got eliminated, and we were all very optimistic on the Brownies. Christopher,
I was optimistic in the sense that the Browns beat the Steelers 2 or 3 weeks ago in Cleveland during that snowstorm. And I was optimistic that we possibly could have swept the Steelers in the season for the first time in 20-plus years. I was optimistic that the Browns could have won in Pittsburgh for the first time in 20 years. And that's crazy. We play them twice every year since we're in the same division. We play in Pittsburgh every single year, and we haven't beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh in 20 years. But, man, just the way they played, I wasn't too optimistic about it. So,
yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know why we picked up Kadarius Toney. He got cut by the Chiefs, and then we have him over here returning punts. Well, it wasn't really a return of a punt because he fumbled it or he muffed it, and that was the coffin and the nail right there.
Yeah,
well, they already waived him.
Yeah, and then we cut him today, or we waived him today.
And it's so funny that, like, gentlemen, like you were like a little bit optimistic. Douglas is a little bit optimistic. We all gave them 6s. I was a little bit pessimistic about the Browns.
Who gave them a 6? Oh, at the beginning of the year?
Beginning of the year, we all gave them a 6.
I had the Browns as a 7 seed because, man, yeah, we were supposed to have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yes, we were talking about that. Also, funny enough, you were dogging me that the Cowboys were going to lose against the Browns in week 1.
Well, still, I think if they played again, I think it'd be a coin flip still.
Yeah.
It's not saying much for either team.
Yeah, that's not really.
If they were to play right now, Browns would more than likely annihilate the Cowboys just because we have Jameis Winston who likes to throw. He's comfortable throwing in the pocket. Even if he's getting rushed and he has to move, he's comfortable throwing there. And then on the Cowboys side of things, Cooper Rush. Well, I mean, you guys watched that Monday night game. If you didn't, you guys should have. I think the Browns would beat the Cowboys, but that doesn't matter right now because Week 1 it was a home game for the Browns. Both teams were pretty much at full strength, and yeah, the nation was pretty much picking the Browns because Browns were supposed to be good this season. But
And then unfortunately,
classic Browns fashion, we lose. And now we're eliminated.
Unfortunately, what happened was Week 1 showed, and then after that, we pretty much knew the Browns stunk, and everybody and all the Browns fans turned on Deshaun Watson after Week 1. Let's be honest.
I don't think they were ever even like on the train with him, were they?
There were people that were on the train. Christopher, you were on the train for a little bit. Yes,
when we signed Deshaun Watson, I was on the train, but after last season and during when we decided, I mean, obviously we're going to start him Week 1 because he's supposed to be our franchise quarterback at the moment. That was tough to say. Yeah, I was not. Nor have I been on the Watson train as of recent. And if we could bring back Jameis Winston, I would love for him to be the starter next season. But everyone knows it's going to be Watson.
They're going to cut Winston and keep Watson because
they're going to keep Watson because we gave him $430 million. We're just not going to cut Watson because then the owners and the GM and the whole front office will look like morons. Well, which they already do. Front office team.
You love Jimmy Haslam as an owner?
I like him as a Columbus Crew owner, the MLS team from our state's capital, because the Columbus Crew are a pretty good football team, soccer-wise. Talking about football around the rest of the world, how they call soccer football. So
okay, I'm just saying. So you are definitely
as a Browns owner, I can't stand him.
Oh, boo. Boo. But I will say, I just feel like the postseason, the Browns after Week 1, they just stunk. No one thought they were going to be good after that. I think we were just kind of they've been tanking ever since. I am very pessimistic on the Browns' future. I think just because of this Deshaun Watson, this was supposed to be your all-in year. And this one blew up in your face. Honestly, this might be. Is this the worst trade of the decade? The Browns going to the Texans trade.
I mean, it's right up there with the Panthers one to get Bryce Young.
Yeah, but Bryce Young is getting a little bit better. Let's see. Just say.
Yeah, I mean, they still have lost every single game that he's been better during, but he absolutely is.
Yeah,
I mean, Bryce Young, he looks pretty. When we were watching that game on Sunday, he was looking pretty good against the Eagles.
But like I said, I digress. So we must, unfortunately, the Cleveland Browns. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of this. I'm sorry, they're the Cleveland Browns. This was a clown show, honestly. Don't you agree, gentlemen?
I would say the biggest clown show was in Dallas this weekend.
We came close started. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
Well, I mean, it was a very clownish move at the end there, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later right there. And now, gentlemen, we got to say about some eulogies on the Tennessee Titans, who preseason we were not all optimistic on this one. We actually kind of gave him actually, Chris, you're the only one that was a little bit – no, it was actually me. I gave him 3s, and both you and Christopher both gave the Tennessee Titans a 4. You were kind of more like, this is kind of a mid. They fired their coach.
You gave him a 3, we gave him a 4, so Doug and I were more optimistic than you. Okay, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's kind of funny. The teams that I feel like I was actually more pessimistic, I feel like I was correct in that one. As so far, the eliminated teams as of right now, except for you, Christopher, with the Jaguars. But like I said, I don't think anyone thought that this team was going to make the postseason. And they've been pretty bad ever since that when Will Levis threw an interception in Week 1 against the Bears and gave a pick 6.
Yeah, that was the metaphor for their season right
That
there.
was a metaphor for their
Through an
season.
interception, falling down.
Falling down, and it's like the no.
Yeah, that was good.
Ooh. Well, I got good news though, gentlemen. Michigan's hit like 4 threes in a row, and they're up 24-12.
Boo.
Oh, all right. Well,
Boo.
continue
Boo.
their dominance in the top 25 for college basketball.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes from there. But like I said, gentlemen, do you have any thoughts on the Tennessee Titans season?
I don't have too many thoughts on the Titans. I mean, you were up 6-0 at half, kicking 2 field goals. You don't score any points in the second half. Will Levis, Tennessee. They just need to. I mean, Calvin Ridley. He's a great wide receiver for them. He puts up numbers. But yeah, besides that.
Yeah, I always forgot that DeAndre Hopkins used to be part of the Tennessee Titans before they traded him to the Chiefs. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
that was a good 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I was like, oh my goodness, I did not know. Yeah, honestly, and also Tony Pollard hasn't played well as a running back.
He's been pretty good, Stu. I think he'd be an upgrade for the Cowboys. I don't know. He's been playing awesome. He's been getting 5 yards a carry. Him and Calvin Ridley are the only bright spots.
Really? Doug, you said he would be an upgrade for the Cowboys. So Tony Pollard goes from the Cowboys to the Titans back to the Cowboys.
I mean, Zeke did it.
All of you, how dare all of you? But like I said, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts on the failure of the Jets? Oh yeah, I totally forgot. What was their record? Okay, so Brownies
52-6. That's my only thought there, Stu.
Yes. Yes, they got absolutely that totally represented. Yeah, none of us were optimistic. 7-10, 6-11 for Chris. I was 7-10, and Douglas, you were 7-10 also.
Nice. I was the closest to what they're at.
Yeah. So actually, you were actually the more pessimistic. Actually,
nice.
Look at that. And then speaking of teams that is shocked, everybody was so optimistic on the Jets. And I was the only one who was actually a little bit pessimistic because, like I said, since last year when Aaron Rodgers went out, and like I said, his last season was with the Green Bay Packers, they were not looking good. They weren't. They were not looking good.
Honestly, the Jets were looking great the majority of this game, and then they fell apart during that fourth quarter and into overtime. Yeah. That was a fun game to watch.
It was a fun game to watch, but unfortunately, in typical Jets fashion, they jetted themselves out of the postseason.
My thoughts on the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, he's pretty much on the same lines as Deshaun Watson. I think he's washed up. Age is getting to him. I know Watson. I don't think Watson is as old as Rodgers, but yeah, obviously we all pretty much know that Rodgers is past his prime. Mm-hmm. It's cool that the Jets added Devontae Adams in hopes that would help the Jets, but obviously that didn't help. And Breece Hall, he's injured, right? Because they have Isaiah Davis, then Braylon Allen. Isaiah Davis, man, he did work on Sunday. So hopefully Isaiah Davis, and then next year with Breece Hall being back, they can have a 2 tandem back. Because like I said, Isaiah Davis looked well, but back to my main point, Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know who the Jets' backup quarterback is, but man, they need to start looking elsewhere because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to do well.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to. They already say he's going to come back for next season.
Yeah. I mean, I was seeing a stat though that the owner actually wanted to bench Rodgers in week 5. The owner was really sick of it, and then it was a week or two before they fired Robert Saleh. They were they were super impatient because they thought that they would be a contender too. Said it was their best team of his ownership, and then by week 5, he was like, "Dude, this is terrible. What are we doing here? How is this team this garbage?" And the owner could sense that early on.
Yeah,
I think that's enough said about this team.
And I will say this: it's very interesting. So Christopher was actually, if I'm looking at
I was very optimistic. I had the Jets.
Thought the Jets were going to win a playoff game.
Yeah, I had him at a 7. I thought Aaron Rodgers was, he has Garrett Wilson. Alan Lazard coming from the Packers to the Jets. Lazard and Rodgers used to be teammates. So I thought, and you got Brees Hall. So Aaron Rodgers had plenty of weapons.
Well, we heard about how good their defense was supposed to be as well.
Oh, yeah, that great defense that never gave up any points,
So
especially.
it was hard not to say that the Jets were going to make the playoffs.
And like I said, Douglas was a 6. I was the only one that was very skeptical because I was just like, look,
would you have the Jets at Mr.
I had them at a 5 because they were very much a question mark this year. And also, I was a little bit concerned because, like I said, Aaron Rodgers did not play well his final year in Green Bay. And that was basically what I was saying. And I think this kind of proves that Aaron Rodgers is not. I think he is heading into the Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger camp of basically a great quarterback, probably going to get a gold jacket. I think his career is kind of closer to done. I disagree with Belichick in saying that he can make a comeback. I don't think so. It's not good. Also, it's not good that week 5 you fire Robert Saleh. Week 11 you fire your GM. Like, this season's been a dumpster fire of the same Jets organization that's always been a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's like the Browns and the Jets. Like, you can give them the best player in the world, and it might be the same result, just not moving forward and not being productive and not making the playoffs.
Oh, who's more of a sad fan base that looks like just pain and suffering and misery? Is it the Jets this decade or the Browns?
The Jets for sure, Stu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Browns are really as sad. I mean, I know like we're nicknamed the Factory of Sadness, or our Browns stadium on the lake is Factory of Sadness. But I mean the Browns fans, we love the Browns. We're diehard fans. We're never going to stop loving the Browns.
I mean, the Jets fans are the same.
But like, not even trolling. I would rather have been a Browns fan last decade than a Cowboys fan, I feel like.
100%. Yeah.
We won a playoff game.
So did the Browns.
Yeah, Stuart, we made the playoffs twice. We won one playoff game. It was
and they should have beat the Chiefs, too. They almost beat the Chiefs.
They almost beat the Chiefs.
We almost made the AFC Championship game, but Chad Henne over here.
Yeah.
Can you believe
Michigan guy
for Mr. Mahomes?
Yeah.
Classic Michigan man keeping Ohio out of it.
Yeah. I will say this. Man, do you still miss Baker?
Sir, I'm glad you asked me that Sunday, too. And every Tuesday we do this podcast. Yeah, of course I miss Baker.
I'm just going to send you a photo.
The dude is a monster.
Yes, I'm just going to be like, do you miss him yet? He
had 3 touchdowns on Sunday, of course.
Man, because the Browns didn't screw over Baker. I'm just saying. They never screwed him over. I'm just saying.
Dude, we saw the star that Deshaun Watson used to be, and we would rather have Deshaun Watson, a previous star, than Baker Mayfield, who was up and coming, and now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at the moment. Baker Mayfield is.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. And now we got to talk about the first game right over here of the week. The Green Bay Packers losing against the Detroit Lions. I believe it was 33-30, correct?
34-31 in favor of the Detroit Lions.
Yes, in favor of the Detroit Lions. So I will go first and talk about the Green Bay Packers. Man, this Packers team, they lost to the Lions twice this season. I'm trying to think, gentlemen, when is the last time the Packers lost to the Lions twice in a season?
Probably like a year or two ago.
Yeah. No. I think they did. I think last year they did beat them in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, I mean last year was split, but I feel like we have. Stu, the Lions have won like 4 or 5 in a row at Green Bay. Like, you keep trying to make this a thing that's just not. Like, the Lions have, if anything, owned the Packers of late, and you keep trying to say it's reversed. It's like just because the Packers own the Cowboys, stop saying that they own the Lions right now. If anything, the Lions own the Packers. They've been beating them pretty good here for a while.
Yeah, we know the Packers used to be like I can't think of the word right now, a powerhouse. Back in like the 80s and the 90s with Brett Favre. But we're talking about present times here. Lions have turned the tide. Lions are becoming the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the NFL.
Yes.
I mean, but I will say this: the Packers played a great game, man. They came out in that second half and they fought back real quick. Lions made a real questionable call to go for it on 4th down on like their own 30 with the lead. Didn't work out. Packers quickly took the lead, man. That was wild.
Yeah.
And like it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a really good game. Like the Packers are a good team. Like it's just really unfortunate for them that they're in the same division as the Vikings and the Lions.
Man, if they were in like the NFC South, the Packers would just be owning that division. If you think about it.
If any team was in the NFC, well, not any team, but that NFC South is interesting to say the least.
Yeah, this is why it's crazy to think that everybody except for the Giants are still in the NFC have a statistical likely percentage of making the postseason. The freaking Panthers have a statistical likelihood, even though how astronomically small, of making the postseason. Think about that, gentlemen.
Why are we talking about the Panthers? Did I lose the connection here? I thought we were talking about the Packers.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I was trying to say this week we did not lose anyone from the NFC. So they would be playing against Seattle.
Oh, I see what you mean. We didn't have any NFC teams eliminated this week. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Well, we'll get to see that game this weekend. I think they play Seattle, so we won't have to wait long to know who's better than that matchup.
I think I'm still going to give them the 7 because at least, you know what? I'll at least give them. I'll still keep them the same record. Oh, I should say, what did last week we gave? Did we give?
Yeah, last week we all gave the Packers a 7. They would be playing Seahawks in Seattle, and that's exactly what's happening Sunday night.
And I think, honestly, I'm giving them the 7 because you know what? Even though they lost, they did come close to a really good Lions team. That's impressive that you only lost by 3 and you were neck and neck with that game.
Yeah.
So I'll give him credit for that. And now, Christopher.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love, he had an off game. I mean, he was still only had 12 completed passes, 200 yards, well, 206, 1 touchdown. But Josh Jacobs, monster again. This dude's averaging like 2 touchdowns a game for the most part. Yeah, like I said, we all gave him a 7 last week. I'm going to give him a 6 here this week. Just the way Seattle's playing. I think that Seattle could take it. But, next week we might have different numbers for the Packers because that Sunday night game, that should hopefully be the game of the week. Scoring-wise, defensive-wise, hopefully more scoring than defense because no one likes to see low-scoring games for the most part. So, yeah, I'll give him a 6.
All right. And what are your thoughts, Douglas, on your favorite team?
Yeah, I think I'm more towards the 7. Like this team, I like just the way that they're built over Seattle still. But like it's getting closer, man. Seattle's turned a corner, it seems. And like hopefully they can just really anchor down this division and keep the Niners out of it. But I like the Packers to win a playoff game still.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see. Like I said, the Packers are definitely looking good. And we kept them at the 7 so far for this week. And now, Douglas, you got to talk about the Detroit Lions winning this game. I got to say, this was an ugly game. This is a game that I kind of thought, oh, my God, the Packers might win this game. But they won. The Lions won this one. So, Douglas, you get to go first. What are your thoughts about the Detroit Lions in this game?
Well, my first thought is a simple one. The Lions, they played like a team that was without a lot of key defenders. That's part of the reason that the theory is that they went for it on that last 4th down because their defense was just kind of so banged up that they're like, we don't want to even let them touch the ball one more time. The beautiful thing is, man, I mean, they still beat a really good team at home. Like they're still in control of their own destiny. They still look like one of the most dominant teams, and like they're only going to start getting more and more guys back on defense. The offense can still do a lot of great things, lead the league in scoring. Like when they're on their game, man, I mean, they can score on anybody. Like they still are one of the most complete teams. Great kicker, great offense. The defense, when healthy, will be pretty. If nothing else, it'll be good enough to hopefully make a nice run. Like, I still think that, in a kind of a weird week, I still think they're the team to beat in the NFC, so I can't drop them from a 9.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm probably going to keep them at the 9 also. I think the Lions have looking still good. I think they're still the strongest team. It is kind of crazy to think that, like, even though that this is probably a weaker Lions team than the earlier season, they're still winning games. And I should say, gentlemen, as of right now, The Lions will be playing in January 2 weeks. They punched their ticket to the postseason. Now, they did not win the division yet. But like I said, they will be playing no matter what in the postseason. So I've been pretty proud of this Lions team. Honestly, I think they've been looking good. They have been impressive. Honestly, probably for the only NFC team. It's kind of funny to think compared to like the teams last year, compared to the teams this year. I think the Lions have been the most consistent. Them and the Chiefs.
Well, still, they have the most wins in the league over the last 3 years, tied with the Chiefs.
Yeah, honestly.
So you're not wrong based on stats.
Yeah, like look at all the other teams that's been like good. The Cowboys been collapsing down. Packers have kind of been more mid. 49ers look like their season's done and they're going to be in a bad shape for the next few years. Lions look like they could make it to that Super Bowl. So we'll see. Now, Christopher, what is your thoughts on the Lions? And what are you gonna continue the triple nines?
Yeah, absolutely keep them a 999. Yeah, Lions, they're finding ways to win. Like Doug said, they're losing a couple defenders, or they not losing, but a couple defenders were out for Thursday Night Football. They found a way to win. Dan Campbell, man, that guy's an animal when it comes to coaching and making decisions, like going on 4th and 1. But I like what Doug said. Maybe there's 34 seconds left. They went for it on 4th and 1 to get down to 2 seconds to kick the game-winning field goal. Even if they gave the Packers the ball back, let's say with like 25 seconds left, man, that means Dan Campbell wasn't really trusting his defense, but they got it. I'm ready to put them at a 10, but we can't put them at a 10 because you still got the Eagles, plus you still have the Chiefs, the Bills, and so yeah, easy 9. This upcoming weekend, the game's in Detroit. Buffalo in Detroit, so that's going to be a big decision maker because if the Lions lose, that it could be a tie for first place for the division because I don't think the Vikings are going to lose at home to the Bears on Monday night.
Yeah, and I honestly do feel like that if I'm looking at the rest of their season right now, so they basically got to play against the Bills, which could be a toss-up, but I do feel like the Detroit's going to beat the Bills. I just feel like the Bills, after this loss with the Rams, I'm kind of thinking, they're a little bit more shakier. Then you got the Bears, who I just don't think the Bears are going to do. I think their season's almost done, so I don't know if they're just going to give up at that point. And then you got what's left, the final 2 games, which is basically the 49ers, who they look banged up and look bad. It's kind of funny. We thought this was going to be a fun Monday Night Football game, and turns out dud. And then they got the Vikings right now. So,
well, still could be a good game. I mean, the Vikings or the 49ers just rolled on Sunday.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, gentlemen, we will see how it goes with the rest of these. And now we got the New Orleans Saints beating up on them New York Giants.
I don't know about beating up. They won by 3, but
yeah, beating them up, and unfortunately, they beat up Derek Carr out of the season right now. He's going to be out for 7 weeks, apparently, with a hand injury. We're going to start with Christopher. What is your thoughts about the New Orleans Saints?
Saints, we all had them at a 3 last week. They won, but it was to a team that doesn't really understand who their quarterback is, that being the New York Giants. And obviously, we know who it is. It's Drew Lock. But, man, Tommy DeVito being the starting quarterback prior to that. Kamara, still no game with a touchdown. So has not scored a touchdown, I think, in 7 or 8 weeks ever since he signed that extension. I feel like the Saints should have cleaned their clock. And like you said, Stuart, I don't know how you phrase it, beat them up. No, they really should have beat up the Giants. This game was terrible.
Yes.
25 total points scored, 14-11 final score. Saints should have easily won by like 10 or 17. But I mean, they did win. We gave them a 3 last week.
Triple threes.
Let's see here. Saints have a 1% chance of making the playoffs.
I mean, the division is garbage. That's the only thing. Like, I would be honest with you. So
let's see. So there have been total seven teams eliminated from the playoffs. That means that'd be like the 1s and the 2s. I guess I would keep the Saints at a 3. I mean, just the way they're playing, they barely escaped with a win. They made the Giants look somewhat decent, which they should not have. So, yeah, I'll give them a 3.
All right, Douglas, what is your thoughts about the New Orleans Saints in this great game?
I mean, I think Chris nailed it. Like this team's bad.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm gonna keep them at a 3 as well. Like they're super banged up. They've lost all of their explosiveness. Like they're just not a very fun team to watch. Like they should be eliminated, or they probably would be eliminated in most divisions by now. But
Oh my god, if this was the NFC North, they would be. This was the AFC. I think they'd be close to getting eliminated. And and it looks like for me, for the rest of these games against the Saints, they got the Commanders, which honestly I think the Commanders are going to beat them. Packers are going to beat the Saints. Let's be honest. It's at Green Bay. Raiders is like a toss up, and then the Buccaneers. Like they have to win out 2 and then hope out the Buccaneers just choke on 2 games. That is not going to happen. I don't feel confident right now. You barely beat a Giants team who's not really that good. That's not really saying much.
Well, the Giants are already eliminated. So, yeah, if you lose to a team that's eliminated, the only team from the NFC that's eliminated, the New York Giants.
Yeah. Yeah. That is crazy to think about that. That's a crazy stat that everyone else but the Giants are still theoretically could make the postseason. So I'm going to keep it at the 3 right now. You barely beat the Giants. It's not really that impressive. And also Derek Carr. And also you lost Derek Carr now. So this is back to like bad Saints again. So it's like, and this wasn't even a good Saints even with Derek Carr. So it's been like a 3 of disappointment. I'll give them 3 disappointment for them. And now we got another game right here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers actually beating up them Brownies. So we'll start with you, Christopher, because you love them Steelers.
Yeah, I like that you actually used the word beating up properly, because the Saints did not beat up the Giants. But, yeah, the Steelers beat up and manhandled the Browns. I think that David Njoku touchdown was a garbage time touchdown, right? Let's see. Yeah, not garbage time. There was still 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but when you're down 27-7, that's almost like garbage time. Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson, man. I wouldn't say in MVP contention, but he's doing well in Pittsburgh compared to what he did in Denver. Obviously, when you have a coach like Mike Tomlin, you're pretty much going to excel. He's making, well, George Pickens didn't play. Maybe he was too scared to play the Browns. I doubt that's the truth. It was a hamstring, a little irritation. But, man, yeah, Steelers look good. What did we give them last week? I'm pretty sure we gave them a 7 because Steelers are top of the division. Right now in the playoffs, they are the 3 seed. So they'd be playing was it the Ravens?
They would be playing against the Chargers. And I think they played against the Chargers and beat the Chargers.
Okay, let's see. Steelers last week.
Yes, I was right. They beat them by 10. They beat them in 10 in week 3.
Yeah, so last week we gave them a 7. I'm gonna keep the Steelers at a 7 because you just looked up that score. Thanks for doing that. Yeah. So yeah, if they were to play the Chargers, I think they would take care of business again. So yeah, keep them at a 7 for me.
All right, Douglas, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, once again, Chris nailed it. They're a nice 7. They're a team that, you never know. They could sneak up to that 8. Like, don't be surprised. Like, I think they still get to host the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. It's like, still even in contention for a 1 seed here, potentially. Ooh. We'll see what happens down the way, but nobody would want to go into Pittsburgh and try to win a playoff game, that's for sure. Russ is playing good. The defense is elite as always. TJ Watt, all-world player. Like, just a solid, well-built football team that, is playing some good ball right now.
Yeah. I love how Najee Harris runs. I think I mentioned that on Sunday when we were all hanging out. He's a downhill runner. Like, man, that guy just doesn't stop. He'll hurdle people. He'll spin. He'll try to avoid everything at all costs to get as much yards. I mean, as a running back, that's what you try to do. But Najee Harris, I like the way he runs. Classic Alabama product. Yeah. Steelers definitely have the hardest schedule, I do believe. Battle of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia coming up. In Baltimore, at home against the Chiefs, and at home against the Bengals. So that's
and I would be interested. Like, do you think this team? Also, I should say, I'm going to give them the 7 also, but I should always say it. Are they in that Super Bowl contention right now?
Well, like Doug was saying, they could be an 8. I mean, if they win 3 out of these next 4 games, yeah, they could easily be an 8, 9. That'd be interesting. I don't know if
That'll
they
be
could do that.
interesting, and I think this is going to be an interesting. I mean, they got a murder's row of like tough
I
opponents.
mean, I will say I think the AFC playoffs are a lot more exciting when both Baltimore and Pittsburgh are good too. Because I'm looking at that AFC playoff picture, man, and that's fun.
Yeah,
Like, even if, I mean, shoot, you got the Steelers who are looking good. You still have Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar. You have up-and-coming teams. It's just a really fun playoff picture on both sides this year.
Yeah, you have Bo Nix with the Broncos, rookie. You have Justin Herbert, with the Chargers.
Oh, gosh, I didn't mention Justin. Yeah.
and then
The only team I'm not looking excited, which we didn't really mention it because maybe that's why we're not excited about it, is the Houston Texans.
yeah, that's what I kind of felt like. If the
They're
Texans
going to get in, but I don't know if they're really going to do any work. But yeah, we'll talk
I feel like that this
cross that
one.
bridge.
That's what I kind of felt about the Texans, where it's just like, they're probably just gonna get eliminated early. I'm not really gonna be impressed about all that stuff. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how it goes for the Steelers. And as always, drink Iron City beers responsibly. Just saying. And now we got a great game, the greatest game that was actually very close, had no problems, and I just have to say, Vikings fans, you miss Kirk Cousins though?
Probably no.
No.
I mean, he had a great yardage game, meaning he threw for over 300 yards. Any quarterback that throws for over 300 yards in a game, that's a great game. But 2 interceptions. Vikings fans definitely do not miss him. The way Sam Darnold can toss that ball.
Yes. So, like I said, the Vikings torched, honestly massacred them Falcons, impaled them 42-21. My goodness. There's even one play where it's like literally Sam Darnold was throwing while in triple coverage with someone, and they still got a touchdown. It's like, my God, Jordan Jefferson just got a touchdown with triple coverage.
Yeah, that ball must have had a magnet in it, and the gloves of Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson must have had the other opposite end of the magnet. Because man, we were watching that game. Addison 3 touchdowns, Jefferson 2 touchdowns. That was an amazing game.
That is an amazing game. So
if you have both those players on your fantasy football team,
yeah, but as of right now, the Falcons are in they've lost. They're now down to the 9. They are 6-7. How do I feel about the Falcons? I'm not impressed with Kirk Cousins. I feel like this is back to this is like the problem of getting a player from another team that's been elite or mid. I think they are getting the wrong impression on how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this decade won the Super Bowl with Brady and how the Rams won the Super Bowl with Stafford. You need to have the pieces to be there, and you have to have an elite quarterback, or at least a good quarterback.
Well, I think they thought they had the pieces, though. I mean, they have the skill set, they have the playmakers. It just doesn't ever gel for them.
Yeah,
they have Bijan, they have Drake London, they have Kyle Pitts. They have studs on offense. I don't know why it just doesn't gel.
I was about to mention that. They have Kyle Pitts. He's supposed to be a top 5. Pretty sure he's still top 10, but he's supposed to be top 5, top 10 tight end. And he caught 1 ball that entire game. They're underutilizing him. So
yeah, honestly, it's kind of been a mid, honestly. And I'm looking at their schedule right now. And also last week, I'm gonna give them the 4. I think no, actually, I think 4 or 3. They're 2 games behind. That's the only thing.
No, they're not.
Aren't they against the?
No, they're 1 game behind the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And they own the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give them the 4 just because you know why. They still have a sort of a shot, but I'm not really impressed with this team. I think this is a mid team, to be honest with you. And I'm looking at their schedule for the next 4 weeks. They have kind of an easy schedule where they got Falcon, where you got the Raiders, they got the Giants, 2 teams that are eliminated. The Commanders might be a tough one, and then the Panthers.
Yeah, that's about as easy as it gets.
So they're going to play 3 teams that should be, Panthers aren't eliminated, but Panthers are about to be eliminated. So they're playing 3 out of their 4 teams that they're playing are pretty much eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah. But I'm still not comfortable. I'm are they going to win 3 out of 4?
You know what's funny, Stu? You actually just talked me into a 5. I'm gonna give them a 5. Like you just talked me up to it.
What? All right.
I was all aboard the 4 train, and then you point out how unbelievably easy that schedule is. And I mean, I've been saying it for a long time. This team beats the trash teams; they just can't beat anybody good. But luckily for them, they own the tiebreaker. Like they're a very borderline playoff team, and they should win 3 out of 4 of those games to get to like 9-7 or 9-8, I guess. But 9-8 probably makes the division because I think the Buccaneers' schedule kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think. Can we just be honest? It's just the division stinks. If a 9-8 team makes it to the postseason, I'm sorry, you're not that good.
I mean, I think that there's going to be a 9-8 team making the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially from this division. If not this division, what other division are we talking about? The Seahawks might be running away with that division, but they're 8-5. If they finish 9-8, that'd be bad. Yeah. So last week, Stuart, you gave Falcons a 5. Doug, you gave him a 5. I gave him a 6. I'm gonna go from a 6 to a 5.
All right. Thank God. I was like,
yeah. I mean, because the Buccaneers, the Falcons have an easy schedule, on paper, but the Buccaneers, they have somewhat of an easy schedule. They play the Chargers. That could be a loss right there. But then they have the Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints. Those should be 3 wins, if not 2 wins right there. So, yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, they might need to finish 3-1 down the stretch, but they should win those last 3.
Right. Yeah. Buccaneers should win those last 3, absolutely.
I mean, they should, but, will they? I mean, that's how I feel. I don't know. I'm just like, okay, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not impressed with the same. Maybe the Falcons can do it, but it's just like, I want to be honest. Even if they make the postseason, I'm gonna probably give them a 5, just because it's like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's not that like.
That's not the rules, though, Stu. If they're in the playoffs, they're a 6.
Well, if the division is garbage, then they're gonna get a 5.
I feel like if they have a winning record, though, they should still be a 6. If they're 8-9, if they're 8-9, I support a 5. But
okay, that's fine. We shall do in the Casual Sports Talk Constitution. If a team division is trash and everyone has a losing record, then yes, they deserve the 5. But if they are going to make the postseason and are 9-8, even though maybe a team that is 10-7 get eliminated, we will give them the 6. All right. And now we got the Minnesota Vikings just absolutely torturing them, realizing that, man, we do not miss Kirk Cousins. We do not care. We are just being as dope. Honestly, give Sam Darnold that paper right now because he's just been dominant. So, Douglas.
So odds are that Sam Darnold won't even be their quarterback next year, which is wild.
Wow. What?
I was reading a thing that said that they'll probably let him walk and he's going to ask for probably a Baker Mayfield, $40 million a year contract.
Oh no!
And they might roll the dice on JJ and just assume that it's this amazing supporting cast and defense that is carrying him. So we'll see. That'll be an off-season storyline to be sure.
I honestly, please don't do that, Minnesota. Honestly, I think you need to do what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. Have JJ set in the bench for a couple years, get a veteran that's going to have a few years, and then once he's ready, put him up.
Yeah. Well, it'll be really interesting, but this is one of the hardest 7s to have to give, but I'm still going to keep them at a 7. They've looked sus in some of the weeks previously. I mean, this Atlanta team, I'm not impressed with a win over this Atlanta team with Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown a touchdown, I think, in 4 straight games. He has 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions over the last 4 games. They had a chance to run away with this division, and they just simply are not. I don't know what the right word is. To me, they're not a tough football team. But Minnesota, man, their defense is awesome. Jefferson's awesome. Darnold's awesome. They're sitting there, man. They were even saying why does nobody give us any love? And they deserve some love. It just sucks that the Eagles and Lions have looked more consistently dominant than them.
Mm-hmm. And as of right now, they would be playing against the Minnesota Buccaneers, and let's be honest,
the Minnesota Buccaneers.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Minnesota. I am sorry. I meant to say the Tampa Bay. That should be a fun team. Like, I'm rooting for the Minnesota Buccaneers, baby.
I mean, the Vikings and the Buccaneers, they both ride on ships. So, man.
Yeah, that is true.
Who would win in a fight, guys? Who would be? I think a Viking would beat a Buccaneer pretty handily.
I think.
But a Buccaneer would have a gun, though, I think, right?
Yeah, Buccaneers have more modern-day technology.
Yeah,
Wow.
They're from like the 1400s.
Yeah, that is true. That is the most important battle. Who's going to win? Not this football game, but in real battle. Just
I'm sure there's an AI, something out there that if we could like somehow generate a battle between a Buccaneer and a Viking, that'd be cool to watch.
Yeah,
find a nice little naval war.
I honestly feel like that they are going to get the good 7 for right now. I'm going to give them, darn it.
I mean, in all honesty, man, them playing the Buccaneers in the playoffs, I think would be a really good game. Like, I think like the way Baker Mayfield's playing, like they can beat any team anytime, man. And I like this Vikings team a lot, but I also think that they'd have a hard time with Baker Mayfield.
Yes, and I definitely agree that Baker Mayfield is about to be, and like I said, we are not having technical difficulties right here in the Casual Sports Talk podcast. We are professionals in this gratitude.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Viking. Oh, sir, you're gonna give them a 9? Holy moly!
No.
I'm gonna keep the Vikings at I'm gonna keep the Vikings at a 7 as well. We all gave them a 7 last week. Yeah, I mean their team is clicking. They have a potential to be tied for first place after this week. If the Lions lose and when they beat the Bears, I think it's on Monday night. Is it against the Bears? Yeah, the Bears on Monday night.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, when you have 2 wide receivers, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, that when they each have over 130 yards receiving each in a game, like, man, that's 260 offensive pass yards right there. I was watching a clip earlier today. When Jordan Addison got drafted this year, there was a reporter who asked, "Are you guys going to be the best wide receiver duo in the league?" And Jordan Addison goes, "Well," he says, give us the money." But before he says that, he goes, pretty much saying that yes, him and Justin Jefferson will be the best duo, and that it's definitely proven right now. So yeah, Vikings should win that first round. But yeah, like Doug said, that should be an exciting game if it pans out to be, in Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers.
Do you think that is the best wide receiver duo?
I'm trying to think of any other duo.
Well, Jamar and T would be up there.
Yeah, see, T. Higgins, and I was telling my buddy last night when we were watching the game, I was like, T. Higgins, sometimes T. Higgins goes off, but then Justin Jefferson, but T. Higgins will go off. Jamar Chase will have a down game. Jamar Chase, on the reverse side, Jamar Chase has a giant game, and T. Higgins doesn't have so much a hot game. I don't think they're both, parallel. Well, they both have giant games together.
Well, then what about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin?
Okay, yeah. I mean, if Chris Godwin still wasn't out for the season, that'd be great. So those are 3 great duos.
I think maybe Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua could be up there too.
Ooh, that might be.
Nacua did work on Sunday afternoon. But yeah, a lot of great duos. But yeah, you have good ideas, Doug. With Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Hopefully, not hopefully, they should be all healthy next year.
I mean, I'm biased towards the Lions duo too because I think they complement each other. Amon-Ra, Jameson, man, that's a fun duo to me. Because I think I think they complement each other more than any of the other ones. Where it's like a possession guy and a speed guy, where all the other ones are just like, I don't know, they're all amazing. Like it's so fun how many good receivers are in the league right now.
Yeah. And like I said, we will see how the Minnesota Vikings do. And like I said, I'm looking at their murderers row of the schedule. So they got an easy one with the Bears. And then it's going to be a tough battle for the Minnesota Vikings. Because I think after that, like I said, in my handy dandy looking at my Minnesota Vikings schedule, they got to play against the Seahawks. That's a tough one. They got to play against the Packers, and then they got to finish their season with the Lions. Depends if the Lions win out and get the clinch the first division. So that could be 50-50 on that one. So we'll see. We will see how the Minnesota
is that game in Detroit or Minnesota for that final
I
week?
believe that is in Detroit.
Oh, let's go Lions.
Let's go.
Let's go Lions, indeed. And now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating up on those Raiders who are already eliminated 13-28. So, gentlemen, what is your thoughts on, I guess I'll go first on the Buccaneers, who are now still the number one seed in this piss poor of a division right now in the NFC South. Let's be honest. This is the worst division in all of the NFL. Not surprised whatsoever. Man, if the Packers or Vikings were in this division, they would be like torching everybody. I'm just saying. So how do I feel? I mean, granted, it's good. Baker had a good game. He won this game like 28-13. They're still in the lead in the division. That is the one positive right now. But will they win a playoff game? As of right now, they would be playing against the Vikings, and let's be honest, they're not going to beat the Vikings. I'm going to give them the 6.
I mean, I won't guarantee that. I mean, I think they could. I mean, they're the only team to beat the Lions. They played the Chiefs well. They played the 49ers well without their receivers.
Yeah, but this is like a banged-up Buccaneers team. That's the only problem.
But they're getting healthy still. That's what I'm saying here.
We're looking at all these potential matchups for the first round.
I mean, this
AFC and NFC, I think that would be the best matchup, exciting-wise.
But I'm looking at the Buccaneers schedule right now, gentlemen. And next week they got to play against the Chargers. That's a tough opponent. That's a tough.
Yeah, and then the next 3, we already discussed that. Buccaneers should win 3 out of their last 4.
Yeah,
just as the Falcons should win 3 out of their last 4.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a nice division race to the end here. Love it.
Yeah.
That'll be good, man. I mean, I agree with you, Stu. I think they're a 6, but I don't think it's by any means a gimme for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like it's the same Minnesota team that struggled with like Jacksonville and some other weird games. And the Buccaneers, they can score with the best of them, man.
Yeah,
if we can do decimal points, I would give the Vikings a 6.5 and the Buccaneers a 6.5 because that like Doug's been saying that game's gonna
6.5. No.
That game's gonna be a toss up if it comes down to the Vikings and the Buccaneers in the first round. Yeah, easy 6 for the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
I mean they're looking good.
Yeah, and I will say this is the battle of who sucks less in the NFC South. Who deserves the trophy?
I mean, I will say this, Stu. I honestly think if Tampa Bay didn't get hurt, we'd be talking about them as one of these really elite teams too. That's what's scary about that.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I kind of wanted to know if this was still the elite Tampa Bay of week 2 and they beat Detroit, which is crazy to think that was
what Mike Evans. He was out 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
and then Godwin's been out for the last. Well, he's out for the rest of the season, but he's been out for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So they got injured pretty much around the same time.
I'm trying to think. I feel like that Tampa Bay team could be in like Super Bowl contention.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't want to play them if I'm Minnesota.
Yeah, honestly,
they gave the Lions a good playoff game last year and beat them this year. Like they're not a pushover by any means, man. Baker can ball out. Baker's a competitor.
Yeah. And as always, you know what I'm going to say, Chris.
Yeah, if you're Minnesota, you're hoping to overcome the Lions in that division, win the division. I hope that doesn't happen because I like the Lions. But yeah, Minnesota, you're looking to get either the number 1 overall seed in the NFC or jump up to the 2 spot. Because those Buccaneers, they're gonna be firing off those guns and those cannons when it comes to playoffs. So they're jumping up on the Richter scale.
Yes, they're jumping up on the Richter scale indeed right now. And now we got the Carolina Panthers who lost. I thought they were gonna beat the Eagles. They were so close. I was like thinking, all right, Cinderella story.
Xavier Legette.
Yeah,
final plays of the game, drops the ball. Well,
he dropped the ball.
It was an athletic attempt at a catch. I'll say that.
If he would have catched the ball, I would have been like screaming out, "Eagles are frauds! Let's go! I am happy. Screw Philadelphia." But no, I guess I can't have nice things today. So unfortunately, the Carolina Panthers lost this game, 16-22. So Christopher, what is your thoughts on the Carolina?
I mean, we all gave them a 2 last week, but they weren't eliminated. But I'm still going to give them a 2, even though I think the teams that are being eliminated this week should be a 3 or 2. Teams that are not eliminated, I don't think they could go below a 2. But Panthers, they lost. Should have won that game. They looked good. especially if we're playing in Philadelphia. And man, like I said, Xavier Legette, wish he didn't drop that ball because we were all watching that game. And we wish I'm pretty sure we all wish that the Eagles would have lost, or not about wishing that they would have lost, but it would have been cool to see the Eagles, get another loss in that column. Yeah, 2 for the Panthers.
Yeah, I would have been so happy. Now, Douglas, what is your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, first, it's kind of fun to see Bryce Young develop.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, man, like this game, even though they lost, they've caused a lot of dysfunction in Philly. Like Philly fans are once again just sitting there super upset at their lack of passing attack. I saw like something on the Pat McAfee show talking about like how worrisome is this dysfunction, like, and basically saying that like their offense isn't sustainable because AJ Brown's getting really frustrated. He's not getting enough targets. So it's just kind of one of those like good for them. It would have been nice if Legette could have made the play. But I mean, they're still a team that honestly I think we should be excited about the future a little bit now.
Yeah.
Like it's still like they're not going to be like elite, but like in a weak NFC South, maybe they can make a run at something here.
Yeah, I'm honestly impressed with Bryce Young now. It's kind of funny because I went from like the beginning of the season, just thought same old Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers, ha ha ha, worst trade ever.
Mm.
Now I'm kind of thinking if they could get some weapons, maybe Bryce Young could be a decent quarterback.
Well, I mean, yeah, when Adam Thielen seemed to be his main guy, man, like it's not a recipe for success.
It's not a recipe for success. I mean, granted, I wish I could give him higher for the Carolina Panthers just because, you know what, you came close to a really good Eagles team. Like at, a good Eagles team at Philly.
Yeah, they came close to the Chiefs too.
Yeah, they came close to the Chiefs. They came close. Honestly, this is making me more think of not these teams are bad, and maybe it's more we might be poo-pooing on the Panthers a lot more. So I feel like they have that weird, if I had to think of it like last year, like the Bears last year, where it's like, there might be some promise. There might be some hope and optimism. But for right now, I think they're the 2. They're not going to make the postseason. Next week, basically, they got to play against the Cowboys. Panthers got to play against the Cardinals, Buccaneers, Falcons.
Panthers versus Cowboys. Woo!
The battle.
The Panthers are favorites.
How dare they?
Yeah, Panthers are 2-point favorites.
Chuba Hubbard, man, he's a great running back, and he's showing it.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Thielen, great wide receiver, and he's showing it. But Adam Thielen, he's getting up there in age. So, like what Stuart was saying, do they need another player? Yeah, because if Thielen is in his 11th season, like I said, age of 34, he'll be out of the league within the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he still runs, man, like he's a rookie. That guy can haul. But yeah, they'll need Xavier Legette. He was highly ranked as a wide receiver coming out of that draft. So yeah, but I think they need another piece to their wide receiver core. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. We'll see how it goes with the Carolina Panthers, in the future. We'll see how it goes for next year. And now, I guess because I can't have nice things in this world, Philadelphia won another game. And because of that, no matter what, the Philadelphia Eagles will be making the postseason right now and most likely probably winning the division, which why? Why can I not have nice things? So we're going to start with myself on how do I feel about Philly.
Stuart, you do have nice things. You're a fan of the Cowboys. They're in the same division as the Eagles, and you guys have a nice thing, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles.
No. Boo the Eagles. Boo them. Boo.
Well, Stu, you have the Ohio State Buckeyes in the playoffs. I mean, they can't beat Michigan, but they can still make the playoffs. That's nice.
We could get a rematch with Oregon once we beat Tennessee, hopefully.
Yeah, let's do it. We're beating them Duckies. Let's go back.
We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Caw-caw!
No, I'm eagle hunting right now.
We're not talking about nuts here, Stuart. We're not talking about those Buckeye nuts. We're talking
Stu,
about
do you know what eagle hunting is, Stu? That's a national crime, okay? Don't you dare go committing felonies, Stu.
I'm committing felonies on Philadelphia Eagles. I will, officer, what did you get in trouble for? Because I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Eagles are probably still good at the 8. There's still a little bit. It is so interesting that like even after this win, that the Eagles fans were still like wanting Sirianni fired. It is crazy to think that they have this love-hate relationship with Nick Sirianni right now in Philadelphia.
Stu, I think the Cowboys and the Eagles need to meet in the middle somewhere on their coaches.
Yeah.
Like the Cowboys need to be less patient, the Eagles need to be more patient.
Yes. Yes.
Like y'all need to be firing McCarthy, and the Eagles fans need to chill the fuck out.
Yes.
Like this guy took you to a Super Bowl, has you as one of the best teams in the league. Boo-hoo, AJ Brown is getting his targets. You still have potentially an all-time NFL rushing record in store and arguably the best defense in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Stop it. You sound entitled. I hope that you get destroyed this week by the Steelers, I guess.
Yeah. 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 That's honestly how I kind of feel about the Eagles. It's like they need to get the 911 for the ambulance right now. And I was like, this is a typical Eagles fans. They will still complain and bitch and complain till all the Philly cheesesteaks and I agree with urinating tree. Sell Philly to Canada. I'm just saying. I will have my anti-Philadelphia bias right here and right now in this podcast. I will basically.
You know, Stu, one of our all-time favorite memories, or at least mine, of our friendship was in Philadelphia. You know.
Yes, and I wanted to say, can I get a steak and cheese when I was there?
Yes, on our way to Atlantic City. That was a good time going to see the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
You know, got to go into that like courthouse where the Declaration of Independence was signed. Like
Independence Hall. That was great.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah, that was a
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah, time to recommend to go.
Philadelphia is a great city.
It's crazy.
I felt the brotherly love there, Stu. That's for damn sure.
It is so random that I literally forgot that I was in New Jersey at one point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
I totally that literally went out of my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been to New Jersey.
That's right.
But
and you drove to New Jersey. You just didn't fly. You drove.
I drove
10
to New
10
Jersey.
or 12 hours.
The way God intended.
Yes, where God intended it. We're driving to damn New Jersey, which I totally forgot about until now.
You know, Stu, I think I would do that drive again. That was fun. I would go back to Atlantic City.
That was a fun vacation. I love going to the ocean. That was fun.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, maybe like one of these days, maybe we can do a podcast. One of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can ask a couple of my run buddies if you want to go to a trip to New Jersey. Just saying.
Or maybe Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah,
Myrtle Beach is a nice area. I like it.
Yeah, that was a long drive. But anyway, gentlemen, I'm going to give them the 8. They still look okay. Granted, there's still some shaky grounds because, like I said, maybe this Panthers team is actually, if there's like, I know the Panthers look good, but maybe there's actually a part of my mind. I'm like, is it the same old Panthers? Is the Eagles going to collapse? Are they going to still good? I'm still going to give them the 8, but it's more of a shaky 8 this week than I would say last week.
I'm sorry, Doug, go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go. You can go.
All right, I'm going to keep the Eagles at an 8 simply because, they're 11-2, top of the division at the moment. Yeah, 11-2. Next 2 games, Steelers and then the Commanders. Those should be tough games, and then finish more easily or easier with the Cowboys and the Giants. So they should win 2 out of those next 4, if not 3 out of the next 4, but at least 2 wins out of those games. But like Doug and I were talking earlier about wide receiver duos, and what Doug mentioned earlier, how AJ Brown's not happy with the amount of targets he's getting, the amount of catches he's receiving. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, they should be a duo. I can't believe we forgot about this. It's because maybe they're not really, impacting the NFL and showing their true numbers and their true talent. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they should be right up there in top wide receiver duo talks. Eagles in 8. We've got to definitely mention how the guy bet $3 million to win $350,000. He was successful, but low-key, I wish that he would have lost. Don't know him personally, but I was hoping the Eagles would have lost. But Eagles
I would have laughed. I would have LOL'd on this one. So anyway, Douglas, what were you about to rant and get mad at me about?
Oh, I was just calling out your bias because it's like the Cowboys beat the Giants. You're like, we're back, baby. We're making the playoffs, and the Eagles still win a game, and you're like, they're frauds. But then the Chiefs win again and again and again on last-second bullshit, and you're like, they're amazing. Like, what the hell, Stu? What some biased bullshit is going on here?
I am not biased. I am not biased. How dare you? Damn all of you. Damn you all to eternal damnation, because that's where you deserve them, right next to the cheesesteaks. I'm just saying.
Oh, the other team fumbled a snap at the end of the game. Yay, Mahomes, you did it. Yay, Mahomes, wave them up.
Yes, sir, you need to be more humble. Like, Doug can be excited because the Lions are a complete domination of a team. The Browns, I'm more humble because even if we would have beat the Steelers, I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. No, if we would have beat the Steelers, I still would have been like, okay, but we're not that good of a team. Whereas, like, sir, you should know that the Cowboys are not going to the playoffs, not going to the Super Bowl. Sir, be more humble, because at the beginning of the season, we said that we were not going to have any bias.
I will not be humble, damn it.
Oh, you crack me up, dude. No matter how
this video with all the swearing.
Sorry, my apologies.
No, it's more Stu than anyone.
But like you have like the Falcons who are sitting there at 6-7, like this team's a 4, they're garbage. And if the Cowboys are 6-7, it'd be like, wow, they're so close. Only 4 more wins and they might make the playoffs.
The Super Bowl, baby.
Oh man. And still never mind. We're not talking about the Cowboys. The Eagles give them an 8. Like there's definitely some concern though. Like they need to figure out their passing attack. Yeah, like they need to figure out the passing attack because I mean if they were to play the Lions, for instance, right now, the Lions have a really, really solid run defense, and like I just don't know. I'd be intrigued on that matchup because like the Eagles have an elite defense, but is it elite enough to slow down the Lions' highest scoring offense in the league? I don't know. So they might need to actually score some points, and so like for their playoff success, they're going to need to figure out this passing attack pretty quickly. Because I mean, you're not gonna beat a team like even like a team randomly like the Rams if they play like a perfect game like they did. Like you got to be able to keep pace with a team that just plays a great game offensively, and you can't do it handing it to Saquon 30 times a game, and not really and being that one dimensional. Mm-hmm. But they're still an elite team, elite offense, elite rushing attack. I mean, they have 2 elite receivers, an amazing tight end, a great quarterback. The pieces are there. They're still one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the NFL, probably, but there's some concern right now.
There's some concern. And I guess we'll see how it goes right over here for the Eagles. And maybe the Eagles could do well, and I will laugh if they have a collapse. Just saying. Yes, and I am not biased whatsoever. And now we got another game right over here. The Miami Dolphins beating up the JETX Jets. 32-26 in overtime. So
I don't know about beating up, Stu.
Well, they did beat them.
Yeah, but not beating up. I mean, it took overtime and the final wee moments of the fourth quarter to send it to overtime. And then Dolphins, they took care of business on that final drive and that touchdown of Jonnu Smith. That was awesome. But I don't know about beating up.
All right,
you're using that verb too comfortably around some of these matchups.
I'm just saying they beat the Jets out of the playoffs, not making.
Oh yeah.
How about that? How about they beat them in overtime to sort of beat them up and take them out of the playoffs? So we'll start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts about the Miami Dolphins?
All right, the Dolphins. Let's see what we gave them last week. I mean, with the Dolphins, we definitely didn't give them a 6 or anything good because. They are, with that win, they're 6-7. Better chance of making the playoffs completely. Last week, let's see the Dolphins here.
Everybody gave them a 5 except for me. I gave them the 4.
Yeah. I'm going to keep them at a 5. Let's see, division-wise, the Bills have that division pretty much wrapped up. No, I'm pretty sure they do, right?
Yes.
Division.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think there's going to be a second team from that division making the playoffs, i.e. the Dolphins. So I'm going to keep them at a 5. Yeah, they got the win, but the win wasn't pretty. I mean, it was a fun win because we were watching it, but it wasn't pretty in the eyes of a team that should be making the playoffs or is on the cusp of making the playoffs. So I'll keep the Dolphins at a 5, just barely missing the playoffs.
All righty, Douglas. Now it's your turn. What is your thoughts about the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it might be one of those that's like too little, too late type of situations. I mean, even if they win out, there's still a lot of teams that they would need to pass. So, I mean, I don't know that I see them passing all those teams in front of them. Because I think the Broncos are the last seed right at 8-5.
Yeah. So as of right now, it looks like the Broncos are the last one as of right now.
So I mean, they're 2 games behind the last spot, which is just with this little time left. That feels like
and you got the Colts. They're still 2 games behind. Also,
dude, the Colts aren't a concern. Okay, you keep talking about the Colts. Get them out of here.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Who do the Colts play this week? I think they have a pretty tough matchup too, actually.
Let's see. You got the Colts. They're playing the Denver Broncos, and that could be somewhat of an elimination game right there for the Colts. So Stuart can finally be humbled and stop talking about the Colts.
All right. Anyway, so the Miami Dolphins, I should say, next week they got to play against the Texans, who are a wounded Texans team, but still could make the postseason. A wounded 49ers team, Browns that are done, and the Jets who are done.
So yeah, Dolphins could win now. They could be 10-7.
Yes.
Yeah, is that good enough to catch though? I mean, I don't know that'll be enough to catch Denver still.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't see how no matter how well they play, I just feel like it would take a lot for them to sneak in. I'm gonna keep them at a 5. I mean, I hope that they kind of get Tua back and healthy, and they'll be one of the better teams next year. But this year, it's too little, too late.
Yeah, and I was honestly nervous because there was one chance that Tua was doing a slide. I was like, it's giving me PTS flashbacks. Like, no, don't do that, Tua! No! Don't do it!
I'm pretty sure I yelled at him for sliding this week. He could have got a first down, and he slid. Unfreaking believable.
Yeah, looking at the AFC playoff picture, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much solidified. Yeah. I don't see the Colts, the Dolphins, definitely not the Bengals jumping up to take over the Broncos, Chargers, and Ravens wild card positions.
Yeah, I feel like the Dolphins, they still have a 2 game, so I will at least give them the good 5 for right now. I'm going to bump them up to the 5. I think the Dolphins could have a shot, but do I think they're going to make the postseason?
No way.
No, I would not put. I honestly think if I'm looking at the playoffs right now, could we do a bet?
What would the bet be?
That I think that the 7 right now. Oh,
I mean, I just said that. In my opinion, that the AFC playoff picture is pretty much solidied. Well, not the seedings, but the 7 teams that are in there right now.
I think this will
Broncos,
be the
Chargers, Ravens, Texans, Steelers, Bills, Chiefs. Those are the 7 teams that are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe the Texans, if they just completely collapse, maybe I could see them go out.
You can say that. Who are they collapsing to, Stu?
Maybe the Colts.
the Colts. Sure, might be right.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we do have a bet on it, Stu, so I respect the hustle trying to defend your take.
So Stuart and I did make a bet. I'm not sure what day or what week of the podcast was, but it was a $5 bet between Stu and I. And I said that the Dolphins would win a playoff game. So it looks like that $5 is going to be going to Stu. And then, more than likely, unless the Dolphins make a crazy run here in their last 4 games.
I will say, actually, I think our next week, one of the games might be at New Year's. So maybe we can do a podcast at New Year's where we can talk about.
I can't be doing a podcast on New Year's Eve. Maybe New Year's Day, but not New Year's Eve. But New Year's Eve is a Tuesday. So yeah, we'll have to do it on New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, I work until 5, and then
yeah, we'll see it when we have to do the podcast, because like I said, we could do Mondays, but I digress. We are talking about the Dolphins. Dolphins are still probably at 5. I think they're gonna have a tough. I mean, I think they do have an easy schedule ahead, but can they do 10-7? Maybe. I do feel like the Texans look a little bit. I think they have 3 maybe wins. If I'm looking at it, they're murderous rows. So maybe they can bounce back up. So we'll see how it goes right over here for the Texans. And now we got the Seattle Seahawks.
Why are we skipping the Texans?
Because the Texans didn't play.
We still have to talk about them, right?
No, we don't. They had a bye.
Oh wait, no, I'm looking at next week's games. The Dolphins play the Texans next week.
That's next week. That's the wagers of the week. We're almost even done. And we're not even talking about all this.
The Cardinals and the Seahawks. Here we go.
Yes. So the Seahawks beating up on the Arizona Cardinals 30-18 right now. So, gentlemen, I guess I will go first and say what is my thoughts about the Arizona Cardinals. So, as of right now, the Cardinals will not be making the postseason. As of right now, they are in the murder's row of number 10, 10-7. They are 2 games behind. They did lose 12 points against the Seahawks, who I do think I'm impressed with more the Seahawks right now. I'm feeling very much like pessimistic. I don't think they will make the postseason. I think honestly, I think the Seahawks might be getting close to clinching it. So if they continue winning, I'm probably going to give them the 4 for right now. I think I'm going to bump them down right now to the 4 because, like I said, I don't think they're going to get in. I think they're at least doing better. They're at least improving, but they're not looking as great. Now, for the Cardinals season, they got an easy schedule right now. They got to play against the Patriots, eliminated. Panthers are probably going to be eliminated. We're going to start our ULG in the next couple weeks. Rams might be a tough one, and then the 49ers might be a toss-up if the 49ers are not dead. So they could probably win 2 or 3 games. 2 out of 3 of those games. I don't think they can beat the Rams, though.
Yeah, Rams are looking hot. That's a tough game to play.
Yeah, and I think what they did with the Bills, I digress. We'll talk about them when we get to the Bills. But we'll start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts about the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, we'll continue with me. Last week we all gave them a 5. Well, was that a 4:00 game? Yeah, that was a 4:00 game against the Seahawks. Man, I mean, we gave the Dolphins a 5. We're 6-7. Cardinals are 6-7. So I feel like we should give them a 5. But then we gave the Saints, who are 5-8, a 3. But I mean, there's a lot more teams technically left in the NFC who have a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, but do you think this Cardinals team has sort of a shot, or is it in that 3 where it's just like I think they just beat up on bad teams?
Yeah, and Stuart, I like the verb beat up because the Cardinals got beat up at home to the Seahawks. Looking at the division, man, Cardinals have lost 3 in a row. They were 6-4 at one point. Now they're 6-7. I don't see them winning this division, and there's not going to be 2 teams making the playoffs from this division. Be one person. Rams are moving up. They're looking like a great team. So yeah, I'd put the Cardinals at a 4 because either the Seahawks or the Rams are going to be a 5 from that division, just barely missing the playoffs. So yeah, I'm comfortable with the 4 for the Cardinals. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this kind of felt like their season, and they laid an egg. You know, I mean, if they somehow flip these results in Seattle, they're running away with the division, and now they're 3rd in the division. Like, they're not showing up in these big moments. Their offense kind of flatlined at like the wrong time. Whatever they did during the bye week was terrible. Like, they were like the hottest team in the league going into the bye, have a bye week, and now they're getting blown out 3 straight. I mean, they thankfully have an easier game at home with the Patriots, but like, I mean, they lost both times to Seattle. I think that the 49ers are only going to be better next time they play them. I just really don't see how this team realistically makes the playoffs now after losing this game. So 4 as well.
4 as well. Look at that. We got a 4-4 right now for the Arizona Cardinals. And I think we can all agree, I don't think the Cardinals are making the postseason. I'm going to probably in the stock market, I'm betting red. I'm betting if I had to do a bet, like not making the postseason bet, I'm putting a lot of money on that Cardinals.
to go the opposite direction.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, they've lost 3 in a row, so their stock is on the downward spiral at the moment.
Oh my God, they're hitting the downward spiral. And now the Seattle Seahawks are winning this games. I guess you're going to go first. And, you know, they won decently against the not decisively, but at least very good.
Yeah, sure. Use that verb. They beat up on the Cardinals. You can use that now. It's a good
beat up on the Cardinals, okay? Beat up on the Cardinals. But I don't want to say decisively because they didn't beat them by 20. I'm just saying.
Well, double digits in the NFL is decisive.
I say 20 points, in my opinion, is super decisive.
Well, Stu, with all due respect, you've been calling it beating up when teams win by 3 in overtime. I think
I'm sorry.
All right, what about this, Stu? What about this? Double digits on the road, 20 plus at home.
Okay, that's a decisive one.
Next year, we're gonna have a description and a point margin, like what our verbs
right,
are, or our adjectives, what we're gonna call teams based on how much they lose by or win by.
This is actually kind of a fun thing, gentlemen. Should we do for next summer when it's the off season the NFL stock option constitution?
What is that?
We write a constitution to make sure that we will have a decisive role on talking about which teams.
I mean, it's in the first two slides of the of this little.
But we need to make it better and stronger and grander and more pristine, and just say the Constitution of the Casual Sports Talk right over here shows us that this is a decisive win.
You know what I think, Stu? I think if we can get to like 50 subscribers, absolutely.
All right, let's do it, baby.
We got to build the brand, baby.
Let's do it, baby. And now, Douglas, what is your thoughts about the Seattle Seahawks? They are looking good. They're on the hot streak right now.
The thing I love about the NFL sometimes is like how much a perspective of a team can change within a season. Because like 3 weeks ago, I was super down on this team. I was like, man, like they're just trash. They're not going anywhere. They were kind of like at the bottom of their division. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, boom, reel off 3 straight wins, I believe. Looking great.
4 wins as of right now. 4 wins in a row.
Yeah, so like there's just something about momentum in this league, and it's just really fun. I mean, I don't think that they'll necessarily win a playoff game, but they get to play the Packers this week, and a win would certainly put them right in that conversation for a 7. But at the moment, they're a nice 6.
Yeah.
Fun score. Please hold off the 49ers. Nobody wants to see the 49ers backdoor their way into this thing.
No, they're not coming back unless this division is garbage or something like that.
There's a chance too. Like the Niners are only like 2 games out, and they still play Seattle again. So
I know, but I don't know. I just don't think the 49ers.
So you were saying that the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs last week.
Come on, I had to have some hopium. Darn it. Can I at least can a child have hope? I'm like
sir, your hope is kind of interesting because you give the Cowboys hope when the Cowboys let's see what the Cowboys real quick. Cowboys have a less than 1% chance. So your hope is kind of really, really a lot of hope. But not realistic.
Taking the hopium. I'm sorry. I've been eating a lot of hopiums. I've been doing all that. So
anyway. Stu, what do you think? Last week we all gave the Seahawks a 5 or a 6. What do you think here, Stu?
I'm thinking that the Seattle Seahawks right now. I'm going to
probably. We all gave the Packers a 7.
Yeah, I don't think they can beat the Packers. We'll see how they do. It is going to be an interesting Sunday night game, the Packers versus Seahawks. I'm very interested in this one. Interestingly enough, so the Packers got to play. They got a murderer's row of like 4 tough opponents. They got the Packers next week. They got the Vikings the week after. Bears is probably going to be an easy one, and the Rams. And it's going to depend if the Rams are still good enough to make the postseason or not. That's a murder row of like games. So I'm still going to give them the 6. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they can bounce back and win a game, or maybe they'll just choke and then go back. But I think momentum is on their side. I'm more agreeing with Douglas. I think the Seattle Seahawks, I think in 5 weeks, we'll be talking to them about what they're going to do in the postseason.
Yeah, I like what Doug was saying, and sure, you went on this piggybacking off that about the momentum. I think that 4-game win streak looking great, man. Zach Charbonnet had a career high 134 rushing yards. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Ohio State product.
Woohoo! Go Njigba.
He's being a better receiver than DK Metcalf, and like we were talking about earlier about wide receiver duos in the NFL. That should be a great duo right there. But Smith-Njigba, he's excelling, and DK is dwelling. DK is just not really where he should be at the moment. But I hope DK can spark the fire again, get it going. So that could be a great wide receiver duo right there. Mm-hmm. Seahawks. That Sunday night game is going to be good. I think the Packers should come out on top. The game's in Seattle. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, easy 6 for the Seahawks because, like I said, we put the Packers to beat the Seahawks if the playoffs started today. But yeah, Seahawks, their momentum might be dying come Sunday night.
Ooh, we'll see how it goes right there. We'll see whose momentum is going up and whose momentum is dying down. And now we got another game. The Buffalo Bills losing to the great game, honestly.
Game of the week. Game of the week.
Surprise of the week, honestly. I think, honestly, this is probably the surprise of the week. Losing to the LA Rams 42-44. My God, Josh Allen was balling. Stafford was balling. But I guess we'll start with you, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the Buffalo Bills?
Well, my new boss, he's a huge Bills fan, so we got to talk about the Bills a little bit today. We both agree Josh Allen is just unbelievable, man. Like back-to-back week 7 records. I mean, it was kind of surprising. Like I thought it was once again we all agreed on this, and I think Tom Brady said it as well. What a bad decision at the end of the game, man. Like they should have gotten that ball back one more time. But that QB sneak that failed and then the wasted timeout was honestly the difference in this game. Like if you can figure that out and you get that touchdown one play earlier, you throw the ball and you don't have to burn that timeout, we might be talking about just like one of the greatest performances of all time. Instead, Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns and was literally basically perfect in a loss. I mean, I'm scared for the Lions to play this team next week, even if it's at home. Like Josh Allen can basically do whatever he wants on a football field, and just the Rams just, I guess, outplayed him. Like the difference of this game was a bad play and a blocked kick. Like one of the best games we've seen in a while, almost a perfect offensive game. Like I think there were 0 turnovers, 0 sacks, maybe. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Highest scoring game of the season. I mean, Buffalo to me is still. I'm still going to give them an 8. In all honesty, I think it's still them and the Chiefs for me at the moment. Like they're awesome, man. Like it was kind of a weird game that they still kept coming back in and making it really close.
Mm-hmm. And now, what is my thoughts on Buffalo? Buffalo, I'm looking at this. They have the easiest schedule towards the end. They got the cruising schedule. They got a tough game against the Lions at Detroit. That's going to be a good tester of which one of these teams looks like they're going to be like that super elite team. Both teams are elite, but it's like this is going to be the test of who's going to be the super elite right now. And it's crazy to think after that, they got an easy schedule. They got to play against the Patriots right now, next week, 2 weeks from now, then the Jets, and then the Patriots. Easy schedule. And then maybe, I think for right now, I feel like that they're still, even though this is a sort of surprise loss, I still feel like they're in that 8th spot right now. I don't feel like I can lower them down. I don't think they're going to lose. I still think they're in that elite. I think if I had to put my 5 Super Bowl teams that I think could win Super Bowl, it's going to probably be Lions, the Eagles, sadly. I would say the Chiefs, Buffalo, and maybe Pittsburgh.
In that order?
What about Minnesota, Stu?
Minnesota's
Who would win between Pittsburgh and Minnesota?
Pittsburgh.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, but I think I might be right.
Yeah, well, so taking consideration when their Super Bowl's in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
And Minnesota, they're 6-1 at home. They play indoors when they play in Minnesota, and that New Orleans Superdome, it's indoors. So in Minnesota, you have a 6-1 team playing indoors.
Oh, I don't know, but
if it's a Pittsburgh Minnesota Super Bowl, which that'd be outside of the NFL script right now,
yes,
I would take Minnesota actually.
Yeah, but like I said, I think Buffalo still has a good cruising record. I think they still could have a legit shot if the Chiefs have a couple of losses, but like I said, I'm still going to give them the 8 for right now. So,
yeah, I'll stick with the 8 as well. I mean, just because you lose in the highest scoring game of the NFL season, didn't know about that. So thanks for pointing that out, Doug. Piggybacking off of Doug, first time ever in NFL history, a quarterback has passed for 3 touchdowns and ran for 3 touchdowns. There was one other game, I think it was in the 60s. where there was 5 passing touchdowns and 5 rushing touchdowns amongst both teams and 0 interceptions. Making another mark on this game for NFL history. Yeah, and like Doug was saying, man, Josh Allen could do whatever he wants to do on the NFL field. Yeah, because he's running all over the place. He ran for 82 yards. He was the highest rusher for the Bills, throwing for how many yards did he throw for? 342. What a monster!
If you guys had to pick who the singular best player in the NFL is, who is it? Is it still Mahomes?
No, it's not Mahomes. No.
Who's the single best player in the NFL right now?
If we're going off position, if we're going off quarterback right now, I would say Josh Allen. Maybe Lamar Jackson, Mahomes would be a tough 2. But yeah, Josh Allen. Obviously, Jared Goff's up there. Sam Darnold's up there, but just because Sam Darnold has the players. If we're going off just in general, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, really? That's a good. That could be a good one. But like I said, the Ravens still have a little faults. But like I said, we're not talking about the Ravens since they are.
Who'd you guys pick in this? Who's the best NFL player right now?
Right now, I would say Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree with Stu. I think he's the single best player. Like, there's a lot of other amazing ones. It's so hard to decide between positions. But, because, you could make a case for, a Jamar Chase, a Saquon. There's a lot of elite players. But Josh Allen, man, he just looks like a dude this year that can't be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he makes defenses look like they're college teams or in high school teams. Just the way he can run so easily and flick the ball to wide receivers, man, it just looks so easy for him.
Mm-hmm. His arm strength, man, is unreal. He's 6'5", he's fast, he's athletic. Dude has it all.
Whatever Wyoming fed him in college, give that to every quarterback out there.
Mm-hmm. And then but then we got some surprising wins right over here, gentlemen. I will go first. The LA Rams won this game. Stafford looked like he was back to this. Honestly, reminds me of the 2022 Rams right now. God darn, man. Man, I can't believe the Rammies won this game. I did not predict. I don't think anyone predicted the Rams would win this game.
I'm pretty sure I thought this would be a good game. I think I mentioned on last week's podcast, but I agree, Stu. I didn't think that necessarily went outright.
Yeah, I don't think.
For being a home game, obviously the Rams were underdogs.
Yeah. So as of right now, they are. This is a very good win for the Rams. For a Super Bowl winning team to lose, that could be Super Bowl. That lost to a team that hasn't made the postseason. This is actually more impressive of the Rams right now than I would say is a loss to Buffalo right now.
Yeah, they played a perfect game, and Buffalo still almost won.
Yeah, that's a crazy part about this game. But as of right now, they would not make the postseason right now. But honestly, I think they're probably the strongest 5, I would say, of the NFL right now. The strongest team that's on that buffer. And if maybe the Commanders have a little bit of stumbling and kind of fumble, I could see LA try to stumble in there. I could see them doing what they did last year when they just stumbled, they somehow pushed themselves through and made it to the postseason right now. So as of right now, the rest of the games, the Rams got to play against the 49ers, which that could be, I think they can beat the 49ers, in my opinion. I think they can beat the Jets. I think they're going to beat Cardinals. I think honestly it's a coin stop, but I think I would pick the Rams in that one. And Seahawks is a do or die 50-50. I don't know on that one.
We got a fun Sunday night game or Thursday night game, excuse me. Rams 49ers, man. I think that's a borderline elimination game for somebody.
Yeah. I think one team is going to make this is honestly a pre-playoff game to the playoffs, and that kind of makes sense.
I hope the Rams win on Thursday night. Because the 49ers, yeah, they still have percentage-wise per NFL.com, 49ers have an 8% chance. But I like the way the Rams are playing, and I'd much rather have the Rams win that Thursday night game. Yeah, it's in San Francisco or Santa Clara. But I'd rather have the Rams win because Yeah, like Stuart mentioned, 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. Hopefully the Rams can win those first 2 games of the last 4, but then the Cardinals and the Seahawks, the final 2 games of the season for the Rams, those are going to be huge deciding games for the division winner of the NFC West. So yeah, keep me at a 5, just because Seahawks, like we mentioned earlier, they're riding on momentum, but moving forward in the last 4 weeks, pretty sure we talked about Seattle's remaining 4 games. The Rams, I believe they have an easier schedule remainder of the season. So it's gonna be a toss up for the NFC West. Who's gonna be a 6? Who's gonna be a 5? We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that they have to be a 5 as well. I mean, this was a great game. Like, if they can beat the 49ers and get a streak going, it feels a little bit more legit. They're not too far behind Seattle, which is always really nice. So, I mean, it'd be fun to see them make a run, man. I mean, I don't want to see Stafford with a healthy Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. I mean, they took the Lions to overtime to begin the season this year. And, like, they're a scary team, man.
Mm-hmm. They are a very scary team. And it's going to be very interesting. We'll see how it goes right over here. And this is going to be interesting. And now we got the Chicago Bears losing to dun 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 dun. Oh, sorry. Dun 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 dun. The San Francisco 49ers 13-38. It is a decisive loss for them.
Very decisive.
Very decisive.
Yeah, they got dominated. They didn't get beat up. They got dominated.
Probably one of the boringest games. Probably boring game number 2. So now the Bears are now 4-9, and we're going to start with you, Douglas. What are your thoughts about the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, I mean, this was rough. I mean, you kind of thought that maybe they had a chance just because the 49ers had gotten blown out by, they got dominated the last 2 weeks themselves. And the Bears had just played the Lions really closely on Thursday night. You're like, all right, maybe we got something here. And then to see the 49ers do that was a little bit scary. And, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I'm starting to feel down on the Chicago team. Like, it might be a dramatic, but they're feeling like a 3 to me.
Oh, you're still keeping it at the 3 right now. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Stu gave him a 2 last week, and Doug and I both gave the Bears a 3.
I feel like
we gave them a 3 last week. Yeah, I mean, they're still 4-9. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm comfortable with the 3.
You're comfortable with the 3. Honestly, this is a bad loss for the Bears. Like, honestly, I'm not going to say the Caleb Williams is the Bush thing, like you're saying, Christopher. I mean, but it's been kind of a mid. I think, honestly, this has not been a good Bears season. And also, this has been 1 week since you fired your coach. So I'm just kind of like in this, not really impressed, not really anything. Not really. I feel like I'm still my 2. I feel vindicated right now for that Bears loss. So I'm going to keep him right now at a 2 right now.
Yeah, small 2.
I will give them a small 2. They don't even deserve a big.
Oh no, a big 2. Yeah, I'm gonna keep them at a 3. We gave the Panthers a 2. Panthers were 3-10. Bears are 4-9. And like I mentioned earlier, the teams that have been eliminated, they're the 1s already. They're the 2s. So I'll keep them at a 3. I read somewhere, I wasn't really following the game, but I read that the Bears combined first half total yards was 4. So you have 4 total yards in the first half. That's terrible. Caleb Williams, at least he threw 2 touchdowns. Good for him, but yeah, you gave up 38 points. Not much. Juwan Jennings had a great game for the 49ers, but yeah, 3 for the Bears. The Bears.
Yes. The Bears, unfortunately. And now we got the San Francisco 49ers who torched, curb stomped, defeated, decisively, just like annihilated them Bears right now. So we're going to start with Christopher. What is your thoughts about the 49ers right now?
Stu, you and I gave them a 4 last week. Doug gave them a 3. Let's see what we gave the Cardinals a 4. We gave the Falcons a Falcons. We gave them a 5. So, and they have the same record as the 49ers. They won. I would bump them up to a 5, but don't put
Ooh.
that down just yet.
Oh, wow. We got a reverse, Uno reverse. You were
I mean,
like,
I didn't really reverse it. I just said I would give them a 5. I'm not saying I'm giving them a
oh,
5. I'm not reversing anything.
you're like
I
that
would-
Ace Attorney video
I
game. You're
mean,
like, hold it.
the NFC West is such a toss-up, but I don't think the 49ers have what it takes to get it going. Like we mentioned earlier, that Thursday night football game that's the Rams versus 49ers, right? So yeah, if the 49ers can pull out a W, then the stock will go up. But we're talking about current market value. Man, I'm stuck. Just because we gave the Cardinals a 4, I'm gonna give the 49ers a 4 because of the division they're in. Yeah, 4 for the Niners.
All righty, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the San Francisco 49ers as of right now?
Yeah, I'm on the 4 train as well. I mean, if they beat the Rams this week, then solid 5. They're kind of right there in the division again. This is a huge week for the NFC West, man. I mean, if, like, for instance, if the Rams win and the Seahawks lose, all of a sudden we got another dynamic here. Like, if the San Francisco wins, like, there's so many things that could happen. But for now, San Francisco's at under 10% chance. And, I mean, they're still a super depleted team, so I feel comfortable at a 4 still.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. So, like, the 49ers have, like, a murder's row of, like, a tough schedule right now. They got to play against the Rams, then the Dolphins, then the Lions, and then finishing up with the Cardinals. I am probably leaning to the 4, but I don't think they're going to make the postseason out of that. I think they'd be lucky if they win 2 of these games.
Yeah, man, this one's going to be really good, too. Like, this Thursday night game has the potential to be a really, really good game.
There could be potential for a really good game, or it's a potential for, like, an absolute, like, blowout, and then just the Rams just, like, dominate against the 49ers.
I know
the 49ers dominate.
I don't know.
I can't pronounce the 49ers running back's name, the current starter, since CMC's out, and then the other running back is out too. But their current running back, he has that really interesting name. I know he got injured during that game. Let me see if I can pronounce Giranendo. Is he out for this upcoming game, or is he going to be back in? Do you guys know how serious was his injury?
I'm not sure.
I quit looking when I got eliminated from the fantasy playoff.
Hey, we got a eulogy on both of us on our fantasy football elimination.
Well, the eulogy was about 2 months ago, buddy.
Hey, all three of them. Well, Stuart got eliminated a couple weeks ago. Doug, you and I just got eliminated this week. Doug, I finished 7th in the league. You finished 8th.
Hey, we can focus on important things like this podcast.
Like our other fantasy football teams. Woo!
Or other podcasts where we got to do this.
Because I have like 6 fantasy football teams, and this is the only league I did not make the playoffs in. Of course, the league that's the highest payout, I did not make it in. Yeah, it seems like so. Back to the 49ers, it doesn't matter who the running back is; their running backs dominate. So whoever the running back coach is for the Niners, he grabs someone, he coaches them well because man, Giranendo, 2 touchdowns, 78 yards, and that was before he got injured and left the game. So the 49ers know how to produce running backs.
Man, he tried to save my season, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we'll see how the 49ers go. But like I said, I'm very much like, we'll see how it goes right there. I'm just like, meh. And now we got another game right over here. We got the LA Chargers losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. And now we'll start with you, Douglas, to defend your Chargers.
Jim Harbaugh.
Your Harbaugh not beating up on the Chiefs.
Yeah, they gave him a good game, man. Like, I thought Herbert was going to get one more chance to drive it and win it, but Chiefs finished strong, man. I mean, they made the right plays when they needed it. I mean, the Chargers had chances, man. They just didn't execute well enough. Like, settled for some field goals. They just, like, never quite got over the hump in this one, you know? It's like, even when they took the lead, it was kind of like you knew they gave Mahomes way too much time to only finish with a field goal. Because, like, you felt like on that last drive, they score a touchdown, but you just know that the Chiefs, no matter what, are getting in field goal range. And so, like, I would have liked to see some Jim Harbaugh do some of that Dan Campbell and go for it, maybe take some more chances. Because I thought he played a little bit too close to the chest. Like, the teams that, like, did win this week were the teams that Like even like for instance the Bengals last night, like they had the ball tied game late, and they're still throwing it to Jamar Chase trying to score a touchdown because they know the NFL and how easily teams can go down the field and get a field goal. So like I think being conservative in the NFL right now just isn't working. You got to kind of take those chances. You got to kind of keep the defenses. You got to kind of keep the opposing offense off the field, if you will, as a form of defense. And they didn't do that. They gave Mahomes a chance. They had every chance to stop the Chiefs on third down and didn't, and they played well, but it's a team that you have a hard time seeing like a deep playoff run just because they don't really have consistent receiver play yet. Lad McConkey was out and they dearly missed him. I'll give them a 6. Like I don't see them necessarily winning a playoff game, but like that'd be a tough matchup for some teams.
Yeah. I mean, it is good that, the Chargers actually came close. They did lose to the Chiefs by 2. And I mean, and that's at least a good Chargers. Like I will give them credit for that. That doesn't. And granted, they would be playing against the Steelers. I don't think they can beat Pittsburgh right now. I think this has definitely been an improvement compared to last season, where the Chargers could not do this. I'll give Harbaugh credit. I think if I had to put my top 3 coaches most improved and coach of the year, probably be Tomlin, and I probably would put Harbaugh at number 2.
He's most improved from what? Winning a national title last year still?
No, I mean the team. The team improvement. For the team. The team, darn it.
You call that Harbaugh specifically?
Well, for coach of the year, Stu?
Yes.
Hey, Dan Campbell, whoever the coach of the Commanders is, he'd be up there.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's apparently the betting favorite by a significant amount.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I would probably put Dan Campbell last year as coach of the year. I feel like for me, I would put as coach of the year as like teams that I feel like, improved better or like I said, you didn't think
did the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs last year?
Yeah, but no one thought that they were going to do it.
Oh, okay. So why would this year? But like, what's the difference? They made the playoffs last year. They're making it this year too.
This is a stronger Steelers team, and
this is a stronger Lions team. So why does Tomlin deserve it over Dan Campbell?
I'm just saying, Tomlin.
I'm trying to figure out your logic, Stu. That's all I'm trying to do. You don't seem to have logic to support it.
How dare you disagree with my logic?
I would say one thing. I was going to say this. If there's a team that only has 1 loss, your coach would be in nomination for coach of the year. But I'm not going to say that because Andy Reid, he's not even in the top 5 for coach of the year. Not a top 5 nomination. So yeah, but Dan Campbell, man, he's got balls of steel. So I'm glad that he's the front runner for coach of the year.
Oh, I should say risk of the year because he loves to risk it on 4th and 1. 4th and 1, it's time to go. It's the Campbell way. You go 1 mode and 1 mode only, and it's just go. So
Stuart, last week, Stuart and I gave the Chargers a 7. Doug gave him a 6. Doug, this Michigan-Arkansas game is getting close, 88-84.
Well, man, Michigan was up by like 18, then Arkansas was up by 18, and now we're coming down to it.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, Chargers because we gave the Steelers a 7, and right now that's who the Chargers would play. I'm gonna give them a 6, especially Stuart, what you said the Steelers being previous in the season by 10 points. I wish this game was more exciting. And for whatever reason, whenever the Chiefs play, the games just haven't been too exciting.
Yeah,
I know the Chiefs had a couple of games early in the season where I think it was week 1. Xavier Worthy had like 2 touchdowns. That was an exciting game, but I was hoping this game would have had more fireworks. Chargers. Yeah, they're down 13.5, but man, they came back. Solid 6 for me.
Yeah, and honestly, it's going to be interesting because the Chargers right now are all 6s right now, and the Chargers have like 2 tough beginning games and then 2 easy games. So they got the Buccaneers and the Broncos, which are 2 really tough opponents, and then the Patriots and the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean they should make the playoffs for sure. Hopefully they can get healthy and make a run.
I mean, honestly, even if they lose a Buccaneers and a Broncos, I think they would still make the postseason. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean 2-2 should make it.
Yeah, honestly, as long as you don't have a collapse, I think this team is going to make it. And now, Douglas, you got to defend You love them Chiefies winning another game close. Oh my God, you love you. You're still gonna say Super
Stu, the
Bowl.
Bills lost, unfortunately. And I mean, if the Kansas City gets home games for the playoffs, like for whatever reason, man, like Mahomes looks slow to me, but nobody can seem to touch him. Like I can't tell if, like, I don't know how he's so elusive back there because he doesn't look like he should be like avoiding as many sacks as he does, but dude is just like a fucking magician back there.
Are you finally giving Mahomes credit? And
Well, I mean,
finally,
I've always given them credit, Stu. I just simply have said that they're not as good as their record. That's all I've been saying all year. They're
Now-
not a guaranteed lock for any Super Bowls. Honestly, I think that they could be the third or fourth best team in the AFC.
I mean, Stu, Doug is taking the Bills. I mean, not the Bills, the Browns to beat the Chiefs.
I mean, that would surprise me. Such a small amount would be insane. Like, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow like another team still won the 1 seed because they still have to play in Cleveland, in Kansas, or in Pittsburgh. I think they still have a couple tough games remaining.
Yeah. So, 3 of the last 4 are away games in Cleveland, at home against the Texans, then, in Pittsburgh, then in Denver to take on Bo Nix and the Broncos.
That's a rough schedule to end the season, finally, man. They got 2 cupcakes that they barely beat. They beat a solid Charger team at home. I'm going to give them the 8. They're still have a firm grasp on the 1 seed, but don't be shocked if it slips away to end the year here.
Yes, it slips away in the end of the year right now.
My only thing is this Bills-Lions game, man, a lot riding on this game. Lions lose, they lose a little ground in their division. But if the Bills lose, they lose even more ground on potentially getting the number 1 overall seed.
Then they drop all the way to like the 3rd seed probably if the Steelers. Well, the Steelers got to play in Philly, so maybe no.
Yeah, Steelers have, like we mentioned earlier, Steelers have one of the toughest remaining schedules. So, it's unfortunate. I think the Chiefs might be running away with the 1 seed here in the AFC. Stuart, what are your thoughts here on the Chief-a-ronies?
The Chief-a-ronies, I would be honest with you, they are looking still legit. They're still looking legit. I mean, it's still impressive that they're still winning these games. Granted, it's like crazy that they're barely beating these teams, but like I said, I'll still give them credit. I
mean, I've never seen like that dude smash the upright and it still went in. If that was like the Bengals, that thing's bouncing to the left and not straight in.
Right.
It's like they just get like lucky bounce after lucky bounce repeatedly. It's insane.
You didn't know you didn't know there's a remote control on the ball so it can just like move to the left.
I mean, the only part worth watching of a Chiefs game is the last 8 seconds. Like, there's no point even watching the game. Just turn on the last 8 seconds, watch somebody botch something for them to win.
All right. But I feel like for me, they're going to be at the 8 right now. I still think that this team looks legit. And with the loss with the Buffalo, it's definitely looking like I think this is more of a stronger 8 right now than I would say last week.
Fun fact, they just did the game, the Chiefs at the Browns, like they had their little projections on the bottom on ESPN here. And the Chiefs only have a 59% chance of winning. So that means 4 out of 10 times the Browns win.
Yeah, Chiefs are only 4.5-point favorites. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I mentioned this last week. The Chiefs are being the reigning champions, twice in a row. They're going for the three-peat. First time in NFL history that could happen. For a team that's, they're 12-1? 12-1. For a team that's 12-1, if I look at the Lions are pouncing on teams. They're dominating teams, and that's what a team that's 12-1 should be doing. The Chiefs, and as I always say, at the end of the day, a win is a win. But for a team that's 12-1, reigning NFL champions twice in a row, these Chiefs should be blowing teams out. But at the end of the day, Andy Reid's getting the job done. Keep him at an 8 just because it is what it is. I was hoping the Chiefs could have lost that game, but yeah, the scriptwriters have it well done for the end.
You see these NFL scriptwriters. This NFL scriptwriters are like, we need to make the Chiefs be super close and make sure that this is going to be great. So then they can.
I mean, straight up, Stu, I still will say if it's Buffalo in Kansas City, I still would expect Buffalo to win that game.
I don't know. I still think the Chiefs could do it.
I mean, they could, but I don't think they would.
All right. Maybe we can tend to disagree.
I hope to get that.
Taylor Swift is at that game, Chiefs are winning.
Yes. The Swifties will not be doing Josh Allen. I'm just saying. The power of the Swifties. And now, why can I not have nice things? The Dallas Cowboys lost 27-20. They just
So you can't have nice things when they don't have a nice team.
Yes. And I just got to say, why? I thought this is like my emotions after the game. I was like, all right, they're going to get the kick. Oh my God, it's going to be blocked. We're going to win. We're going to the Super. Wait a minute. He touched it. No. And then they're like, horns right there. And I'm just like, really? Really?
I was watching the Manning cast and just like watching the two Mannings, just like their jaws dropped. Like, no way, dude. Like, it was just like such funny silence of like misery. It was fantastic.
This has been.
I was expecting that game to go to overtime, but there's already an overtime game in the NFL. Seems like the season doesn't allow 2 games.
I wanted to go overtime too, but I guess I can't have nice things in the Cowboys.
Well, Steve could have just been hoping for a walk-off field goal there with great position.
Like I mentioned earlier to you guys, it wasn't on the podcast, it was before it started. I don't know what that guy was thinking for the Cowboys. I'm not sure his name. I think it was number 38. But you should not be trying to get the ball after it already hits the ground when you're in traffic, when there's a bunch of Bengals players around you. Like that ball, once it hits the ground, it's going to spin different ways, and that's clearly what happened. Did not get the ball, did not control it, and we saw what happened. Bengals got the ball. That's embarrassing for the Cowboys, Stu.
Yeah.
And last week, Stu, you and I gave the Cowboys a 4, and Doug gave the Cowboys a 3.
I gave him a 3.
Yeah, Stu, Doug, you gave him a 3.
All right, let's start with the Cowboys. Like, we'll look at the rest of the season. This has just been a disappointment. I thought we could have came back. I'm just saying. I mean, Cooper Rush looked a lot better in the first half. Didn't look great, but it looks like for the Cowboys this season, they got to play against a murderer's row of like tough games. I have a lot of easy opponents. They got the Panthers. That could be a loss. Buccaneers could be a loss. Eagles could be a win for the Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, come on, Stu. I know you're biased, but let's humble yourself. Let's be realistic here.
No, we're not beating the Eagles, and we're not beating the Commanders. We're at a 3 right now. This season's over. I'm just like disappointed. I'm just like, we're not going to win all 4 of our games. Like just tank at this point.
Well, then your guy Overton, he was playing amazing last night, but then he tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, MLP. I don't know, everything.
Everything. Thumbs, bodies. Like he tore everything. His thoughts.
No, I think he literally tore 3 ligaments in his knee, though. So like that was a huge bummer. Cooper Rush is looking better, Stu. Cooper Rush is looking better, man.
I'm honestly more impressed with Cooper Rush. That's probably the one thing. He had a good first half. Second half, we don't want to talk about it. But I do think he did better. So, Christopher, what is your thoughts with the Cowboys?
Man, Micah Parsons was not happy after that game. Yeah, he walked off the field before the game even ended, I do believe. Nonetheless, Cowboys, I think they have behind the Steelers. Cowboys have one of the toughest remaining schedules. They should beat the Panthers, but the other 3 should be L's. Give the Cowboys a 3. Yeah, Micah Parsons is one of the top 3, top 5 best defensemen in the NFL, and he's showing his anger towards the Cowboys organization. Yeah, we'll put it at 3. I know you guys said Cooper Rush was better, but when you have team making mental mistakes, i.e. that play towards the end of the game, which gave the Bengals the ball back so Jamar Chase could get that touchdown to win it. Yeah, can't be doing that. Yeah, 3 for the Cowboys.
All right, Douglas, what is your thoughts on the Cowboys?
Should not have been a Cowboy.
I mean, you guys kind of nailed it. The one thing that I found funny on one of the broadcasts was that apparently before the game, Micah Parsons said that he would take possibly a pay cut to stay with the Cowboys. And then they did him that dirty, Stu. Unbelievable. I think his quote was like, "What's the difference between $30 and $40 million a year? I want to be a Cowboy for life," type of thing. So, like, if you guys can't lock that man up for life, because, like, I think he is a big reason that the Cowboys even, like, mildly had a 1% chance, Stu.
How dare you?
Rick, they finally have a running game going with Dowdle, which was kind of fun to see. CD Lamb had a nice game. Like, there's the nice thing for the Cowboys is it feels like a bad year, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be like a long downward thing. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, the Eagles and Commanders both look like they'll be good for a while. And the Giants are still going to be feudal for quite a while. So,
yeah. I think it's a punching bag. I think the Giants are basically a punching bag for every NFC East team.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I can't bump them up. I mean, they lost. Give me a 3. Also, Michigan's got the ball down by 2 with 3.7 seconds left.
Oh, yeah, 89-87. Here we go. I saw that they got I'm not watching it, but I'm following it, and I saw that they got a defensive rebound and a quick turnover.
All righty.
Let's go. I mean, okay, I'm rooting for Michigan. You know I'm a Buckeyes fan.
And now, I guess if the Bengals should have lost this game, if it wasn't for that punt, just saying, this is a
saying what, Stu? What you think the Cowboys could have had a chance, but
hey, Stu,
I always say, end of the day, a win is a win.
Yes, you lost 18 games with that logic. Oh, the Chiefs would have lost if it wasn't for that upright or for that fumble or for that blocked kick.
Boo, boo, boo! I don't care. I don't care. And then when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, which is probably going to be happy, going to happen, and I'm not going to be happy about it. I'm just going to say, in your face, Douglas.
Stu, the Chiefs will not beat the Lions. So if the Lions are there, I hate to break it to you. The Lions have no problem breaking Taylor Swift's heart, Stu. Blue collar does not care about the Swifties.
How funny would it be if the Chiefs win and they beat the Lions? How much? It's like, man, this is a pain I never felt as a Lions fan.
Stu, I will simply say you were right. That's all you'll get from me.
All right. But what do you think about the Bengals, Christopher?
Last week we gave the Bengals a 4. I'm going to keep them at a 4. Just because if they were in second place in the NFC in the AFC North, I'd give them a 5. But simply because they should have 2 easy wins coming up. The Tennessee Titans, who got eliminated. Tennessee Titans, almost a joke of that of the AFC. We talked about them earlier. And then they got the Browns at home. And then they play the Broncos at home, and then the Steelers are on the road. So I think, those last 2 games for the Bengals are going to be tough. But, yeah, since they're not in second place in the AFC North, I'm going to keep them at a 4. Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow's doing amazing in the month of November and December. He's going to continue to work next week against the Tennessee Titans. But, yeah, I don't really see him just barely missing the playoffs because, like I said, like we've said this entire podcast for the most part, it looks like the 7 teams that are currently in the playoffs for the AFC are going to be the 7 teams. And right now the Bengals are, 3 games out? So, yeah. If they were 2 games out, then they could make a push, but I don't see them coming up and possibly getting a wild card spot.
Oh.
All right. It is now your turn, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the Bengals?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris summed it up nicely. Like, they have no realistic shot at making the playoffs here. It was nice to see, like, kind of a weird bounce finally turn their way. Like, they've been on the wrong end. I think Chris Collinsworth called them the anti-Chiefs during the broadcast. Because, like, everything that could go wrong does go wrong for them. So it's fun to see them at the Cowboys' expense to get a bounce.
Oh, I didn't like that. I did not like that.
Being in Dallas too, like it was kind of fun just to like bullshit because a lot of the people were talking smack on the Bills today at work, so it was kind of fun. Then on Monday, then the Cowboys lost, so that was kind of fun.
No, it's not fun. For me. It's not fun for me.
I mean, Joe Burrow, man. I mean, he might be the second or third best quarterback in the NFL. Like he is simply unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Like the things that he does, like it's such a shame to see this team so bad because he is playing at an amazing all-world level, maybe only behind Josh Allen. But unfortunately for him, his team has like 6 more losses than Josh Allen's or 5 more.
Yeah.
I'll give them a 4, though. They're a fun team, but no shot at playoffs, just kind of.
Yeah. And it was kind of interesting. I was listening to the Strong Opinion Sports, and they kind of talked about the Bengals. And, the Bengals did win. I feel like if the Bengals wanted to be more elite, I think Joe Burrow needs to get a pay cut a little bit and maybe get a couple of players. You know what I mean? Get a couple of defensive players. Try to do that.
Can't get a pay cut when they just signed him for. I don't even know what the contract was for, but I think it was like last year or this year. They just signed him for. Yeah, can't take a pay cut when you just signed a contract.
But I just kind of feel like that's going to be the problem with the Bengals. I think they're wasting Joe Burrow's career right now in Cincinnati if they don't get a good defense.
Their defense is not terrible. Well, I don't want to say that. Trey Hendrickson, he's one of the best defensive ends in the league. Yeah, maybe it's their cornerbacks and their safeties that are the problem because they have a good defensive line.
I mean,
and their offense is amazing, but
the offense is elite, legit. This is probably could I say the best offense in the NFL?
No, you can't say that.
No, it's the Detroit Lions.
No, you can't say that.
All right. Maybe the Detroit Lions, but would you put the Bengals in top 5?
Maybe top 5.
Yeah, maybe top 5. I mean, I think you have Buffalo and Detroit above them for sure.
Vikings possibly. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of teams that could maybe make that claim.
Yeah, I honestly say that if you had the Bengals offense and the Chiefs defense, I think this team would be like a super team.
You have the Detroit Lions too.
All right. Well, okay, so you want to say if the Bengals had the Detroit Lions defense with the Bengals offense, that would be a super team?
I think the Lions are super teams, too. Top 2 offense, defense, and special teams. Super.
All right. But like I said, right now, I mean, they are 5-8. That is a helpful win. They have to probably win out and then hope that someone collapses. They got to play against the Titans this week. They got 2 easy games, Titans and Brownies, but then it's the Broncos and the Steelers right now. So
don't say the Brown game's too easy because the Browns and Bengals, they played in Cleveland. Bengals took care of business. So the Browns might want to take care of business in Cincinnati. But for what I want,
your draft.
But yeah, for what I want the Browns to do, I want them to lose out so we can get a better draft.
Baby. You tank even though, I mean, let's be honest. If you're an NFL player, you are not tanking. You're like, I do not want to lose my job. But everyone else is a fan. Tank.
Well, I got bad news for the Bengals. The Colts are still there. Like, there's no chance they can make the playoffs. The Colts are still around.
I don't think
with Stewart riding high on the Colts, no way. Is anyone going to pass the Colts?
Are you honestly going to do a Stu versus Stu, basically?
Stu versus?
I'm feeling like trolling this week. I'm sorry, Stu.
I'm sorry. Hey, you're making it better every day. Don't worry. I love it. I love it. You control all week, all day, every day in the week. And now we got our wagers of the week, where basically, like this week, we can skip this Ohio State because, like I said,
yeah, we can remove that. We already paid our dues.
We already removed. Wait a minute. Does that mean? The Vikings already won that game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, well, this is way out of date. Didn't mean you have. What were our bets this week?
Yeah, we didn't have any bets.
Well, I thought we bet on
what's the Colts versus Texas? Is that the Texans? And what's that about?
Oh, that's the playoff one. I thought we bet on the Bengals versus Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, I think we did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was a $5 bet. I'm pretty sure. Why did we not write that down, Stu?
But I'm pretty sure, though, Stu, to be fair, I think it canceled out because I thought we also did a Cardinal-Seahawks one where you took the Seahawks. But I don't remember if we made that bet. But we might have made both bets and not wrote them down.
All right. So that's fine on this one. So, right now.
What's the bet for the Colts versus the Texans? What's that about?
Who's going to make the postseason?
Yeah, Stu was confident that the Colts would make a comeback. Though.
Oh, that's why we're riding on Stu, because Stu's with high confidence with the Colts.
Hey, I'm riding all the way to the bank, baby.
All the way to my bank account, Stu, more like
How dare you?
Is anyone confident on the Bills, and is anyone confident on the Lions that they want to put a $5 bet on that game? I'm not going to because I low-key would take – yeah, it's a tough game.
I don't know. I feel like honestly, I might pick.
I'm leaning more towards the Bills. I'm not going to put money on the Bills because Josh Allen, he just lost a game. I feel like he's
and that's
pop off again. But Lions at home, that's tough.
Yeah, I don't know if I see Josh Allen losing 2 in a row. And like the Lions have been kind of playing with fire. Like, I kind of feel like the Lions almost need to lose one to get humbled a little bit. And this would be the perfect one to lose because it's against an AFC team. So we'd still control the 1 seed if we lose this one. And so it's kind of the one that would be the best case scenario if the Lions have to lose another one.
Yeah. So we'll see on this one.
And I'm not going to touch the Cowboys. I know Stuart is a diehard Cowboys fan, but they're playing the Panthers. I feel like the Cowboys should take care of business there. So
yeah,
if it was someone else other than the Panthers against the Cowboys,
I would bet somebody and take the Panthers if anybody wants to. If you want to cover the Cowboys this week,
all right, let's do it. Stuart,
$5 bet, boys.
Yep, I'll root for Bryce Young.
Woo!
How dare you?
Well, I mean, they're favored though too. They're at home. They're playing good ball. That'll be kind of a close, fun game.
Make sure you put Doug's name. Sir, make sure you put Doug's name against the Panthers because I don't want you guys getting confused with me because I'm not touching that.
All right, we'll do it. We'll do the bet right there. And now we got our stock options this week, which honestly, Douglas, nothing changed for the Bengals, unfortunately, and I think nothing changed for the Cardinals.
Actually, the Cardinals dropped down from a 5 to a 4.
I think I lost $4, Stu. This isn't good.
You lost $4. No.
So Doug is at $28. He's got 12 from the Bengals and 16 from the Cardinals. So that's 28.
And I think nothing really
changed. Correct me if my math is wrong.
Yes. And as of right now, I don't think anything. No, wait. Did the Buccaneers make the?
Stuart, we moved the Buccaneers up from a 5 to a 6.
Oh, maybe.
That's $36 from Mr. Fedor.
Ooh, look at that. $36.
Wow, very
I got some money, baby.
And then, Stuart, you actually gained $2 since the Buccaneers jumped from a 5 to a 6. So that is $24 right there.
And then I lost that $1. I lost $2.
Titans are at 0, so you lost money there. But you gained $2 from the Buccaneers.
Woohoo! I'm coming back, baby. So anyway, Douglas, you get to go first. What is your thoughts of the wager of the
$28 to play with?
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I think, what did we give the Rammies? We gave them a 5?
Yeah, we gave the Rams a 5.
And we gave the 49ers a 4.
49ers are a 4, and that's the Thursday night game, Rams versus 49ers.
Oh, man, that could be a potential big one. If I don't know who I like in that game, like that's a coin flip to me. So I feel like I'm not sure.
You can just hedge your bets. Get 4 for the Rams and then 2 for the 49ers.
Oh man,
but that wouldn't be really hedging it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough week. Like I think I'm gonna do 4 shares of the Rammies for 20.
Wow.
No, that's a stupid one because, like, how are the Rams making the playoffs? No, I don't like that. Never mind. I'm still thinking.
You got to think about this one.
I'm still thinking because I don't know that I like the 49ers, but, like, they're kind of tempting now, too. Yeah, this isn't good.
Yeah, there's, like, not a lot of, like, teams. They're like, and then also I don't think who's going to bump up. That's the only thing. Yeah, we're at the point now where we don't know who's going to get bumped. I don't think there's going to be a lot of bumps, ups, and downs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of the season. There might not be too much bumping.
Yeah.
Up, down. Sorry.
Man, the Bengals don't really have a lot of room to move. The Cardinals are kind of pretty far out of it. Like, I'm struggling here, gentlemen. I don't know which way to go.
Panthers could move from a 2 to a 3.
Oh, you're on to something.
Yeah, because you did take them $5 for Stu against the Cowboys. It's a home game for the Panthers.
You know what? Give me 10 shares of them.
Ooh.
10 shares.
10 shares of the Panthers. I'll go all in.
How dare
you? If they lose, are they eliminated? They probably are.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, so you could lose some stocks here.
I could basically go bankrupt.
So you're doing 10 shares of $2. So you have 8. Are you really you're doing to do that?
No, yeah, we will. I have no confidence in the Cowboys.
So you have $8 to play with here.
I'll buy 2 of the 49ers.
All right,
wow, you're going for the nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something like about the Niners I think is going to start to click, and they play at home. I think there's a chance that they win, and then all of a sudden they're right in that kind of borderline playoff conversation again. Probably my worst 2 picks of the year, but like I'm going to go with it.
You're taking the risk, baby. All righty.
This could work out for you, man. I mean, Panthers move up to a 3. That's 30 buckaroonies right there. 49ers move up to a 5. Man, yeah, you could be at 40.
Yeah.
I could
No! Or you could go the opposite way.
Yeah, I could go absolutely bankrupt if the Panthers get eliminated this weekend. We're all in.
I don't see the 49ers really moving down to a 3. I mean, we'll see. You'll still have $6.
I probably should have flipped these picks and done like $20 to the Niners, but like that's not fun. That's not as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way the Rams are playing, I don't see the Rams. Yeah, that's gonna be a great Thursday night game. So sell all my shares for the Buccaneers. You can keep the B in Buccaneers because I'm gonna do the Bengals.
Oh,
So
but
their market value is at $4.
Okay,
And I have $36 to play with, so I'm gonna take 9 shares of the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah, make sure the Banglers, the Cincinnati Banglers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't apologize to me. Apologize to the Cincinnati fanhood.
Yeah. Cincinnati doesn't help.
Get a G in there.
Oh my God, I can't even spell.
No, it's all right. And then they're worth $4 and give me 9 shares, and that's $36 right there.
Wow, you're going all in 9.
Yeah, 60. I'll take 69 shares, Stu.
No.
Shares.
No. All right. I'm thinking about it. So was the if I'm looking at this, I'm looking at my thing. Was the Ravens?
The Ravens are at a 6.
I think.
And who do the Ravens play this week? Man, yeah, we didn't really look at the teams who had a bye. They play the Giants. Ooh.
I'm thinking I'm taking the Steelers right now. I'm going Ravens, baby.
Ravens, all right.
So they got 6 shares. So that is I'm taking okay, so that is
we can get what, just 4 shares, I do believe.
Let's do it. I'm going all in on the Ravens. I think they're gonna win, and then I think they're gonna bump them up to the 7.
Wow. So that means you think the Ravens will be beating the Texans? It'd be right now Ravens versus Texans.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. That's good idea, Stu. Stu's trying to get some money here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some money up here. Let's do it. I'm betting me up.
Than me, that's for sure.
Yes. Yes. And now, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts on this final week right over here?
Hey, like Doug said earlier, it's a huge week for the NFC West. A lot of questions might be answered here with the Bills Lions. Man, we got an exciting week of football coming up.
It's crazy that the Battle of Pennsylvania is almost like the second thought here. Like Pittsburgh at Philly, and that's like maybe the second best game, and the Thursday night game is going to be awesome.
The Sunday night game is going to be huge.
Yeah, like we got kind of spoiled this last week, but this week might kind of live up to it as well, getting these big time matchups. The Monday night slate's kind of a dud, but like Thursday and Sunday are fun.
So beginning of the season, the NFL was doing for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, they did 2 Monday night games, and they kind of stopped that. But now here we go, week 15, 2 Monday night games. Bears in Minnesota, Falcons at Las Vegas. Those games might not be too exciting, but when one game's boring, you go flip the channel to the next one.
Yeah, that's true. Having the 2 at 1 will be fun.
Yeah, Stu, what are your thoughts here?
I am gonna say Cowboys not making the Super Bowl, and also go Ravens, and we're gonna win. And I think I got the steal of the century right there. You weren't paying attention. That's how I get the steal of the century.
Steal the century. That'd be funny if the Giants with Drew Lock beats Lamar Jackson. I'm just gonna be
like, all right, gentlemen, bye. Goodbye, everybody. I'm leaving this podcast.
Man, should I just do all 14 shares of the Panthers? Am I that confident to beat up on the Cowboys too?
Oh my God!
How dare you? How dare you? Anyway,
Sure, Doug, you might be bankrupt by next week.
I'll
I was hoping no one would go bankrupt.
Like, we'll skip Douglas this week.
But I like Doug saying because he has no faith in the Cowboys, and then, at this moment, I don't even think some of the Cowboys players have any faith remaining for their own team.
Yeah, Mike is going to walk off the field against Stu after Bryce Young torches them.
Yeah, he's going to walk off at halftime and just not come back from the locker room.
But anyway, gentlemen, like I said, next week, actually, I should say we could be doing a double header right here. We're going to talk about week 15 of the NFL and some college football playoff.
But probably not in the same podcast because that would be
No,
like 4
not-
hours long.
We're not doing a 4-hour podcast. We'll split those. We'll split those in different podcasts. So, like I said, everybody, we're gonna try to do is more college football and NFL by this December. So, anyway, I am gonna catch you later, Mr. Gators. So, as always, take care. Bye-bye.